Welcome, guys. We are back with another Anime Lately podcast episode. Tonight, we have the Worst Generation Productions head captain, GB, onto the show. And we're going to talk a little bit about everything. I'm not going to be the ghost. I'm not going to be the host for this one. It's going to be our main man, Kenny. This is Anime Lately After Dark episode. So let's go ahead, meet our faces. What's going on, guys? Happy sorry, let me get my usual announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Animatedly Podcast. I am your host, Sam the Manga Man, and here with me introducing my brotakus. Introducing first, he is our host. He is our pride of the Caribbean side. He is the representation of his friends, family, and he's the he has diverse tastes, varying interests, and a pillar amongst his family, counselors, mentors, and friends. He is the pride of the Caribbeans. He is the CFO of Conqueror Movement, Kenny Grant. And finally, our sister in the group. She is the boss of the Spicy Lady Entertainment, the conversation of Spicy Ladies Talks podcast, the iconic gamer of Spicy Lady Gaming, the fighter of diversity, the lover of comics. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely Spicy Lady Ashanti. And finally, our special guest. By day, he's a professional project manager, but by night, he's the space host for Anime After Dark. He is also the space host for The Collective Cafe with the lovely Miss Moody Senpai. He has just recently partnered up with the HBTKU, aka the Haptaku, and he's sponsored by the great and talented people in Concept Moon. He is the late captain of the Worst Generation podcast, the genuine, gentle GB.
Welcome, wholesome GB, to Anime Lately.
Oh,
I
what's
love
up,
how I love how Sam threw in gentle GB. I am gonna make one very slight correction. We are not officially sponsored by Concept Moon. Would like to be, but still, it's shout out to Keith, it's shout out to Brandon, it's shout out to the whole Concept Moon crew and everything they do. We love them. I just, I didn't get the official nod. I feel like Isaiah Thomas, my boy Mike. Just like Mike Jordan, he got the nod.
I mean, hopefully by the end of this podcast or during, they will do it. They'll hit you up with that.
It's always love. It's always big love to them. But yeah, we got the big Himpachi himself.
Himpachi, let's go. Niggas been reading my Twitter.
Come on, bro.
I'm crying.
I mean, I've been more involved in your space. I've been more involved in the space.
Yo,
I have been seeing you in Anime After Dark.
Yo, you know what? Let's start there. Welcome back from a much needed break, obviously, and very much so life updates and things, which you are free to share as you will. But let's jump into some Anime After Dark. Let's start right there. Honestly, we'll circle back to the conversation from there. But I think that's a good branching point for a lot of people who interact with you, especially like in Twitter Spaces. As we all know, and as you introduced as the captain of Worst Gem, but I think a lot of people have become a lot fond of associating you with Anime After Dark. Tell us a little bit about what that journey has been like, and also how it felt to come back after a break, because it's been a while since you guys have taken a break of that nature for that period of time, I guess, rather.
It's been Anime After Dark has been absolutely crazy. Just from the very start, like how it started, and just to this point now is wild. This was our first break. I mean, people have had breaks or time off the show here and there, but this was like the first time where the show was just on break. It was just like, that's what it is. So it definitely felt good to have that break, to have that free time to like get away and recharge and really take care of the things I want to take care of in my personal life. And yeah, man, I came back feeling really charged up, really empowered, I guess is the word. I was ready to go. the last episode we did though, Mike was leading it, and that shit went over 5 hours. So I was like wiped out. I was worn out. It was definitely like a welcome back show.
I think I was there for like the first couple hours. I couldn't stay for a long time. I had to be in the office, but it was a great show. I mean, I do love the energy. I love the vibes from the show. I do like your interesting take on like top three top every time you come up top three. You know what? Since since technically you're our guest on the show, what's your top three?
Hey, yo, let's go.
Let's see. Top three.
Any
Top three gadgets that I like to have around my house right now. Let's see. Number 3 is most definitely my Rodecaster mixer. My Rodecaster Pro does everything. Without it, I wouldn't be able to do Anime After Dark. I wouldn't be able to do the Collective Cafe. I wouldn't be able to get other stuff together, and even like the future videos and content we plan on doing as a podcast and everything else, it would not happen without the Rodecaster Pro mixer. Gotta say,
I'll write that on my wish list.
Item number 2 that I love having around the house is I brought an iPhone quick charger. And I know it's something so simple, but it has a 6-foot cord instead of the normal 3 foot or 2.5 foot range, whatever it is. And so that 6 feet really makes the difference. And I felt it the other day where I had to charge my phone. And it used to be when I had the 2.5, I kind of had to like lay off the side of my bed. You know how like when your homegirl first get her hair done and she can't lay on the bed back in the day, her shit just be hanging off the side. Like that was me trying to hold my phone and still like text and type and do everything I wanted to do. But the 6 foot had me comfortably in the middle of the bed and I got my work done. So I really was appreciating that shit this week. And I got to say, item number 1 just made the list, but I'm very proud of it right now. I just brought my first, you can't even see this shit because of the blurry background. Fuck. I just brought my first steam press. It is matte black with a rose gold lid. And I brought some coffee from Mexico when I was in Mexico. And I wanted to try it. So, of course, I went with steam press. It's the simplest way, apparently. And I'm literally enjoying my first cup of coffee I've ever made for myself in my entire life right now on the show. So y'all getting the first with GB. There y'all go. Exclusive.
I'll make sure that when I go up, the top 3 is gonna be my coffee of choices or coffee of places.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I am.
Oh, that's crazy.
Same.
How do y'all do this shit?
Look, I as a writer, I can go and drink about like 4 cups of coffee in a day, and like I had to stop doing that because it's like I couldn't focus. I was too jittery, so I was like, I'm trying to dial it back. But I'm a coffee drinker, but I like creamer in my coffee. I love creamer.
I thought writers were supposed to be drunk off their ass 24/7.
Drunk? Why would I be drunk? No.
That's the stereotype for writers.
Coffee.
That's every stereotype that's in every movie.
For like
they
for
drunk.
depressing writers, but like writers who are like, like the Lois Lanes, we be drinking coffee. Like we gotta
Hey, Lois Lane.
Get the scoop. We gotta be up and running.
I drink. I'm not like I was gonna say that's it because I drink a lot. I drink like 10 cups.
I can't stand coffee.
That shit is crazy.
Like all my life, like even just the smell of
He said all my life.
beans. No, like the smell of raw coffee beans like irritates me. I won't even say it makes me sick. It actually it irritates me. It's a good palate cleanser. Like you can do cool stuff cooking wise with it, but like to just say like I drink coffee, I don't know when or if I'll ever reach that point in my life where coffee is a necessity. But
Does anyone have a favorite kind of coffee flavor?
Not at all. I can count on one hand how many times I've had coffee in my life, including this cup that I'm drinking right now. I've never been a coffee guy. The caffeine it makes me jittery and then I crash. But I'm giving it a try right now because I feel like I'm going nonstop and I need something that's a little bit extra. And black tea just hasn't been bridging the gap for me lately.
Yeah.
My wife gave me these caffeine pills that I tried. And them shits had like I was wired the whole day, and I didn't like that feeling either.
Yeah.
So I'm giving coffee a try, and I'm gonna try to find a combination that works for me. But yeah, this cup actually hasn't been bad. I put a little bit of some almond creamer in it or whatever, and I actually ain't mad at it. This is not something I'm gonna be fishing for like every day. Like I need a good cup of Joe, but this is something I feel like I could do a cup in the morning if it had to come to that.
Word. So I feel like it's only fair since Sam already threw it out there that we got a top three anything from everybody else in honor of the lovely Anime After Dark. So Sam, give me a top three.
Oh, I'm already doing the top 3 in coffee. I mean, I guess
It's the Anime After Dark takeover. I
Alright.
brought that shit to y'all. There y'all go.
All right. Number 1, Colombian coffee. I do like
Okay.
a strong coffee because I
Yeah.
sometimes I'll add like oat milk and something, but I'm lactose and oat milk is it's either oat milk or almond. But yeah, Colombian number 1. I do like Seattle's coffee brand at the moment right now, since they're like I know they're a lot of places are home for the coffee, but that is the birth and home place as the first Starbucks. They knew what they were doing. And number 3,
Do you drink hella creamer?
no, I don't.
Sugar?
Nope.
No?
Dang,
You
I'm the
drink it
only
black?
one.
No, I drink it black.
Oh, you real.
Can't do that.
I mean, like
can't do it.
I mean, I used to drink it as like a pre-workout drink, and then I got just so used to the bitter.
What?
Yeah, it's a great
See,
pre-workout.
wait. Okay, Sam.
Nani?
Okay, let's go there. That's what everyone is saying you're supposed to do with it. So
I mean,
right
you
now, I
don't,
gotta
you
be at
don't,
work at
you're not,
7
you
a.m.
don't, you don't need
Yeah,
to,
never.
but like,
They're,
it's a
they're
good
saying
boost.
wake up and drink 4 ounces of black coffee and then go to the gym. And I'm like, okay. And that's literally what everyone's telling me. Like, wake up, do 4 ounces of black coffee, go to the gym, get your morning workout in, and go crazy.
And
And
be-
it's a couple people that's telling me smoke with it too.
Coffee for the gym? I've never heard of coffee for the gym.
So-
mainly because of how it makes me feel afterwards if I haven't like eaten anything prior to drinking coffee. So that's why I try and wait until I'm like after all of that. Like I'll do like a pre-workout drink, like a smoothie, whatever. But I never thought coffee.
Yeah, you use the caffeine from the coffee just to help like push that extra weight. It's just like, you know how you get those sugar highs or those like where you just get
The
very-
runner's
and drink-
highs.
Runner's high. It's just basically
Yeah.
using the caffeine to do like the extra weight as soon as possible. But then like, of course, it's the most natural energy drink. I guess the pre-workout drink. But the faster you drink it, the more like you're gonna have to use the bathroom from.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I'm like, I'm gonna be boo-booing after the gym. Like, I can't do that. No.
You
And I
nasty as
tried-
hell. You be sitting on the gym seats. Ugh.
I don't use gym bathrooms. I go right home. I don't do that.
Y'all are funny. I just want y'all to know y'all are funny. 'Cause what I'm not gonna do is any of that. Just so just
Yo,
to
if
be
you
fair,
have to
also
go, you gotta have to go.
No, so to be fair, to double down on my point, like I don't like that feeling at all either. So like I don't like whey, I don't like pre-workout. So like all things in that category, I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna get
Same.
up, I'm gonna stretch, and by the time I stretch and I walk or I hit the bike or whatever I do before,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like once I'm up and I start moving, I'm good. I pray that lasts for a long time because I can't stand coffee, y'all. I really can't.
I
feel
tried
you,
those
bro.
pre-workout like pills once that my dad had, and I feel like a crackhead. Like I felt like I could have been in the gym for like 8
I
hours.
bet
and
I
still had
bet that was in
energy.
your system till like midday.
Bro,
because
I was going crazy. I was doing weights. I did weights for like 4 hours. I was like, I don't like feeling like this right off the bat.
Damn,
I
4
to feel this
hours.
way. I was in there for a while. I was like, I don't like feeling this. Like I can like take on the world. Like that's dangerous. Like I can't feel that way.
I mean, like,
Bro.
I mean, if you have, I mean, if that makes you feel like She-Hulk for the gym. I mean, I'd say take advantage of that. Just go ham.
I
on
like
the
to
gym.
build. I like to build up to that like runner's high like place. I don't like to like start off the gate like that. Like I can't. There's no like I guess anticipation of the workout for me. Like that's what I look forward to in the workout.
So speaking of workouts, spicy top 3.
So we're doing like top 3 like just life
Whatever.
things, whatever.
And
Okay.
literally that's how they do it. That's how they do it over there in Anime After Dark. It's top 3, whatever you can think of.
Okay. I guess right now, I guess top things I'm doing creatively. Right now I'm streaming on Twitch full time, which has been fun. And then I've been back writing again, which has been another fun thing. I'm back writing the story I've been working on it for a little bit. And then I guess the third thing is Oh, I'm back like reviewing. I'm back on YouTube, back kind of like reviewing things again. I just put out a new YouTube video reviewing Netflix To Doom event. So like that was been a lot of fun editing. So I've just been having a lot of fun getting back to my creative side again, I guess.
That's what's up. That's dope. So
I would love to see it. I see that you're getting more settled and you're looking a lot more comfortable and having fun on your streams. And I love that
Thank
for you.
Y'all been going crazy in your stream too. Like I love how you have it decorated. I was like, oh, this is nice over here. It's real cozy.
Yeah, shout out to my brother Blackheart. We actually about to add a young lady onto the squad for our set, the Evo Boost community. So shout out to the Evo Boost community. But for me, top 3, I'm gonna go with the very cliche, my top 3 of what animes I'm very hyped for this fall season.
Mob Psycho better be on that list, bro.
It just came out today too.
I'm actually I was about to say I'm gonna be very specific. I'm gonna tell y'all from what I've seen so far for the week. Or at least I say this week and last week. So definitely Gundam. Top of the bag.
I still need to watch that.
Me too. I need to watch
it. Witch of Mercury. Absolutely mob, bro. Mob Psycho, and oh man, I forgot the name, but the ninja one that released yesterday.
Yes.
So wholesome. It's so nice so far.
It's
and
wholesome?
I can tell it's a wholesome start. You know how they like to ease us in with like the little slice of life.
A ninja one released?
It's like Shinobu like something.
Yeah, I saw those like TV14.
Like yeah, I saw it today on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, let me open the Crunchyroll because it was actually the advertised anime for Crunchyroll today, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Shinobi no Itoki, yeah, because Itoki's the protagonist's name. But it's basically a modern day ninja world. That's no spoiler. I don't know anything. I haven't read the manga, so that's the premise that I got
Boruto?
from it. No.
I'm joking.
Look, I just exploded a Twitter space earlier talking about Boruto. I'm not gonna do it to the pod. Right
he said we're not going there.
I'm not gonna do it to the pod. We got some good people in the chat. I don't want to get flamed any more than I did earlier.
Wait, hold up. If you're a fan of Boruto in the chat, listen.
Pause. We're not going there, Sam.
I don't think there's no fans of Boruto.
Sam, we're not going there. We're not. I did this earlier to the people. I'm gonna let it go now. I already inflamed the fire of Boruto and people earlier. It's fine.
Leak said to talk about Kingdom.
We gonna I'm gonna take the L for not talking about Kingdom. All I'm gonna say is Kingdom has been good. I don't know why it's so weird because they haven't changed the animation style much, but it looks so much better than season 1 and season 2. Right now,
you're watching the anime.
Oh no, I'm talking about both. I'm saying so from the anime perspective, it's gotten better, weirdly, but I don't know if that's more so the content and where they are with the anime as much as it is the way it was being animated. As far as like the manga is concerned, I didn't read this week's chapter, but this is fixing to be my favorite. I can tell. And I think I told you this the other day. I think that this is going to be my favorite arc. This specific part of this war is going to be my favorite arc for Kingdom. I'm calling it right now. I don't know the whole history, so I don't know where they're going to stop, like what the expectation from the author is or anything for stopping with this series. But I know that this is going to be a big pivotal part of everything that happens, and I'm really looking forward to see the next blossoming of our young set of the next set of great commanders and what happens from these upcoming fights. But that's for y'all that read Kingdom. There was a couple of people that actually did drop us. We'd asked the Twitter for some questions for you. Someone said, how do y'all feel about the series that gets extra materials released that's not done by the original mangaka? Examples: Naruto novels, Demon Slayer Water and Flame manga, One Piece novel, etc. That was from Duo D Flamingo on Twitter.
That's a good question.
Y'all got to order or we just go?
You can just go.
We'll always start with you, GB. We'll start with you.
That's crazy. Okay, I get to be the champion on the front lines over here. So how do I feel about like media that's released that's not the actual novel?
Yeah.
So is this like writing only, or are we talking video games, movies?
I think this is just mangas.
They just said
specifically.
materials released in regards to the mangaka, so I'm gonna guess written work specifically here.
Okay. I'm not a super like light novel, fan fiction, side quest type reader. Uh I think if One Piece ever did like slice of life side novels of just like what went on the Sunny, what went on the Going Merry, stuff like that, like I would probably tune into that if I can get like little slice of life of the other captains, major captains. I would love to see like Law and his crew just living a day in their life. So I would probably tune in for shit like that, but I would be real particular. Like I really just don't care to kind of go into the side stuff. I've looked at a Naruto kind of light novel or two, but it really didn't hold me. If because I didn't get into the light novels, I watched the anime for Naruto, and I didn't know about the light novels until the end, and I was already like pissed off at the ending, so I just didn't care about the light novels after that. But I might have like really been interested in those if the ending wasn't what it was. But other than that, I'm really not into it. It's just not my bag, what I do. But I ain't mad at it. Like I think it's cool as hell when, if you are really invested in a series, you can go in and learn more about the characters, learn about more world building in a sense, especially if the author has something to do with it. So you feel like you get that authenticity in it as well.
I guess I'll go next. Honestly, like if there's gonna be if they approve the whole extra materials releasing, even if it's novel form, it's really just for like more money for the publishing company itself, and that's though there's nothing wrong with it. It just means that different people have different takes on different side stories or different ending adaptation. It's no different from people writing their own fan fiction or their fan like ending or that sort of stuff like that. And whichever that they thought they approved to be the better story in the end or the side story in the end, they decide to have that print out and let people read it. I know that there are some extra materials that got into manga form, which I don't mind reading them from, because I think that'd be cool. Even there were even a lot of mangakas who made their own other arts, like Bochi.
Yeah, for
Do-
Ace's novels, I think. Right.
For Ace's novel, do it for his style of Whitebeard, Blackbeard. It was incredible.
Love it.
Honestly, I would definitely read all the side materials and extra materials if it's like other mangakas doing the artwork for it. I think that'd be like a whole manga roulette kind of twist. I would definitely read it for sure. But I mean, all in all, technically people read books without pictures. So if that's your cup of tea, go for it. But it's not for me neither too.
I would definitely be okay if other mangakas were doing just the artwork though. I don't want them to do I don't want them to do stories. Like I would hate for another or not necessarily hate. I just think not all mangakas can do stories for others because they're not all on the same level.
If Murata decides to be on that art onto any of them, like I put money. I'll put money just like Mr. Beast would put money on that new Naruto recap thing.
I definitely put money on like if Murata was doing like in damn near anything he draws, I'm pulling up for it. But
I can agree to that.
If I paired like Oda or even if Oda had did something historical, like I think Oda's ability to kind of like warp and tell stories and build the world, even if he had took something historical and added a little bit of hyperrealism to it, and you have Murata like drawing it, I think that's a 15 out of 10 every time. So like I will pull up for dope combinations like that. But sad to say, like I'm reading Bleach right now. If Kubo had drew something for Oda and Oda wrote it, I'd come. But if Kubo wrote something for Oda, I probably would never pick that shit up.
You didn't like Burn the Witch?
I know we
didn't get a lot of it.
Bleach is my first Kubo title I've ever read.
Mhm.
So I haven't
I didn't read
Bird
it
in the
either.
Witch.
I really liked it when they released the episodes. It was like a year or two ago now. Um, it definitely feels a lot better and a lot smoother than the writing that you get at the beginning of Bleach. Um, I will say that. I was more invested in wanting to see episodes after 12 episodes of Burn the Witch than I was in 20 episodes of Bleach. And I like Bleach. That was not Bleach slang. I'm just praising one series over the other by the same author. But I'm of the same opinion. Funny enough, I'll listen to people talk about the stories and the side stories and everything. And sometimes it's really interesting. But for me to kind of go out of my way for something that's not source material, it's just not appealing to me. And I've seen what it's done to other communities. Like, I'll give an example. Lots of people had so much grief with the last trilogy of the Star Wars episodes because of the way that they canonically saw stuff in their fan minds, because it wasn't actually canon. It was based off of a series of other adaptive fan lore that was out there that had a lot of people in a tussle. So like stuff like that, to me, at the end of the day, I'm like, just go back to whatever the author says. They're the progenitor of the idea and the concept, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I guess I have a lot of respect for, you know, writers and authors in that light. So it's like a no-brainer to me to like, I don't want to question the original thoughts on it. It's not to say that people can't have other good ideas around it. Like, come on. When I was younger, I had a whole other Naruto world imagined in my head. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to put my thoughts and impressions of that onto Naruto like it's supposed to be law or something. And I think that's where people blur the lines. Like at the end of the day, if you feel like you're creative and you could do something better, then do something better. It's okay to be inspired by people. Just make sure if you are inspired by somebody in writing, you give them the credit. That's the stuff that gets me sometimes. And I've seen that even from some young webtoon artists and stuff. And it's just like, hey, I get it. You're practicing styles, you're learning from your favorite artists, but make sure you understand that, like, if you can see it or you thought about it and you projected it into what you're doing, other people are going to infer it too. So I think it's okay. I just think there's a line that you have to be careful with. And I would rather respect that, like that original creator's perspective. But yeah, that was a great question. We'll come back to some more questions.
Can we hover there for one more moment though?
Yeah.
So, and I want to hear from everybody on this one. Like, as fans, it feels like it's two routes, and like based on what you just said, Kenny, I feel like it's like two ways we can go, right? Um, those Star Wars fans that you use an example, they all bent out of shape because they had this fandom, this lore that they imagined and it was going to be a certain way, and then when the actual canon official dropped, it wasn't that, and so they were bent out of shape. So as fans, and I think if I heard you right, like you kind of just go back to what the originator drops is the story, and that's what you go with. Does anyone ever feel like if your version is better or it seems better to you, like do you get upset with the artist? Do you feel like the artist needs to change it, or are you just more of the type that it just is what it is, and like you don't get upset with authors or anybody when they're putting stories out there? You just kind of just roll with the vibes. Because me personally, like um a comment that you see on the timeline right now in the One Piece community is like how Wano ended. And I think a lot of people have their own kind of take on the way Wano should have summed up and some things that should have happened. And not everything happened that way. So do you kind of just look at Oda like, yeah, it is what it is. Oda, you did what you did in Wano and we're just gonna keep going forward? Or is it okay for you as a fan to say, bro, you could have did way better? Like this version of it sucks and I'm not feeling it.
So,
I think. Oh, sorry.
Spicy, no, go for it.
I think I'm leaning more towards like it is what it is, but I think it's okay to like voice your opinion about it as long as you're not bashing the creator of it. Cause that's what happened with Ty Kubel, right? Like everyone was sending these like terrible death threats to him. He was like, F y'all, bye. But then he's back with Bleach. He's adding more to it because he took the time out because to want to add more to it, now he took, after that. So it's like, I think it's like it's okay to be in both, but for me personally, I'm more of like, it is what it is. I cannot like it, but I can't get mad about the creator. This is someone else's idea for something. And you don't know, I guess, like what happened behind the scenes. take that into account. But then again, it's someone's idea. This is someone's way. It's a creative project. Not everything comes together all the time perfectly with certain projects, especially if you're working with other people. So I think you have to take that into account. But like I said, like don't like be mean and like the stuff like that. But I'm more of like, it is what it is. You know, I can have ideas, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm not gonna really harper on it like that. Unless it's like really ridiculous, you know. But other than that, it's like, you know, it is what it is.
I agree with Spicy because a lot of people in the manga industry and the movies industry and like even books industry, like at least they get to finish their story. Like I think that's the most number one important thing, that mangakas, artists, authors gets to finish their entire trilogy arcs or their long story arc. When Isayama ended Attack on Titan, there was so much hate for it. A lot of people did not like it. Everybody had their own had their own expectations of the story of where it was gonna end up and how it's gonna end everything. Some people didn't like it. Isayama got hurt. He felt like he needed to like redo the ending and create a new one for the fans and stuff. And then it turned out even worse. Nobody even liked it. It became so
as a
much
creator,
worse.
I was very upset with him for that.
I agree. So I will hop in and say, first answer GB's question. Obviously, still my stance is still the same. I feel like respect the author. However, I will say that there's always room to criticize things that you like. Honestly, I feel like I feel more inclined to criticize something because I like it. Like I feel like if I am a fan, I have invested time, energy, emotions, and all kind of things into it. So I am in a place to want to express my feelings because I've invested feelings into it. Is specifically with like Attack on Titans, I also GB, I was like, one, I didn't like the ending initially. I'll say that. It took me literally maybe a year to like really process, okay, you did this. I understand why you did this. I see where you wanted to. And I've gotten to this place in my journey as a consumer of anime and manga where I am very critical of how people end series. And it wasn't actually a bad way to end a series comparatively to the way other people have had to be or forced to end their own series. And I was okay with it. So for me, again, much to your point, I've now accepted like, oh yeah, this is okay. And I predicted that that's one of the, like in my head, there was one of three ways the series could end. And I just didn't want him to pick this route that he picked it. That was just me personally, but he set it up to end that way. And for me, I was like, I don't know why everyone was shocked, because he's been telegraphing this for 50 plus chapters that he was going to end the series this way. And I thought it was pretty, like, again, when I sat back and I accepted my feelings out of it, like it was a good decision ultimately. I was very then double taken aback by the anime's decision and the direction that you all went in it with him, because I think one, we don't give enough credit to the mangaka culture and the things that they have to deal with. That's one thing, but also I'm just like, you can put out more material. Hey, this is the ending the way I wanted the ending to be, but also there was other ways I thought about ending this, like a couple years down the line, because you probably already have it written and storyboarded. Here's OVA or ending whatever. Here's alternate ending, blah 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 blah. Because video games do that all the time. Movies even do it. What was that one Will Smith movie that had the different ending? I always forget which one it was.
You gotta be more specific. There's a lot of them.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Yeah.
I Am Legend.
Like the director's cuts. Like I know like director's cuts.
Yeah, there's like 3 different endings for that movie. So I think there's room to allow the mangakas the ability to express themselves, but we as fans, giving the nature of, again, I always remind people, fan is the root word from fanatic, and fanatics tend to be extreme in nature, so we just have to be mindful about that type of stuff. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. The Attack on Titan thing that one really got to me.
Same. Because like I felt the same way. I was like, really, we're here, but then like after processing everything, I'm like, oh, like he didn't grow up. Like he had to assume this in order to get here. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense as to why he unraveled the way he did. But the way it happened, I was really mad. But then I'm like you said, I had to process it and be like, yeah, it makes sense.
I think I got kicked for a moment. Can y'all hear me again?
Yes,
I
we
can
do.
see you and I can hear you,
we
bro.
see you and hear you now.
All right. I don't know if you got an answer, but I think the movie was I Am Legend. That's the last thing I
Yes.
heard. Okay.
That was I Am Legend, yeah. But yeah, no, circling back, I don't know if you had anything else to say about the Attack on Titans, but like I was just kind of clarifying my point and like just saying the same thing again of just like I want to respect it, but I still feel like I have room to criticize. Even with Wano, I am a big I've become, especially over this year specifically, I come to the realization that I am an anti fan of the fans of One Piece. The general populace of the community of fandom honestly generally irritates me. I really trust Oda. For no other way of phrasing that, I really trust Oda, and I'm just like, just let him do what he's doing. Let him tell the story that he's been telling. Let him do what he's been doing. Was it perfect ending? No. we literally have Shonen Ronin. We literally we grill some of the top Shonen Jump mangas on Sundays. Like I've talked about this for weeks. So like, yeah, you're not gonna like everything. And sometimes the biggest thing is that we don't realize the reason something is being done because we're reading it week to week and it's a full story. You know what I mean? Something might not be being said right in this moment because it's going to be relevant chapters later, or maybe it's not as relevant as you think it is. And that's not for me to interpret without the specific guidance of the creator or the author or whatever is being presented to me in whatever art form or medium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had another question on this, but I don't want to sit here too long. I want to swing around to some more GB stuff. Let's learn a little bit more about GB. So I would like to know. I
was definitely trying to keep the smoke off me.
Oh, not you thought you was gonna get away. Haven't you seen my other interviews, GB? That's not how this works.
I thought I was different, man.
Oh man, you are different. I appreciate you. See, there you are. It's okay. No, but seriously, tattering over to the other space that you do with Moody, I would like to ask you, what do you think has been, because you talk about the break, and I didn't even think about it. I was thinking that was the second break, but you guys did the Anime After Dark at DreamCon, so there wasn't actually a break there. So having this break, and we talk about things like burnout and stuff on the Collective Cafe, what do you think is the thing from a mental wellness standpoint that you have implemented this year that has been of most value to you?
You know what? It's really allowing myself to feel victories. I'm traditionally a person that I set goals and I go hit them, but I don't really sit back and celebrate or say like, oh, this is monumental, this is substantial on what you did. You made this real. I just normally hit a goal and then go, okay, that was dope. What's next? And this year I've been practicing being in that moment and celebrating when I do something that I wanted to do. One big moment for me was DreamCon. So we did the live show and my mind does what it always does. And as soon as the live show was over, I had all these thoughts about what went right, what went wrong, what I could change for next time. I went and sat down and made some notes after the party, but then I had to actively tell myself like, enjoy this, appreciate this. And so when we got to the kickback that night, I just made sure like I had a good time. I drank, I ate. I think I killed 2 bottles of champagne somewhere. I just wanted to celebrate and be in the moment. And so that was a big thing for me because I normally don't take the time out to kind of acknowledge to myself what I did. And a lot of what goes on is people telling me like, no, you did X, Y, Z. And it's kind of like, yeah, you know, I ain't got to worry about all that. And I think part of me has always thought that's like humility. But yeah, I'm starting to disagree with that whole mindset, like the way I looked at it. It's just really me not recognizing what I have done. And so in that case, it's ignorance on my part. Like I'm not acknowledging who I am.
You feel that's essential to the growth process for you? Not just you, but in general, the process of growing, I guess, as an individual.
I really can't speak for other people. I do think it has helped me a lot this year. I don't know how essential it'll be in the future, but it was definitely a lesson I needed right now. it helped take some of the pressure off me because I'm doing a lot. Like in my personal life, I'm working all the time. I'm trying to figure out how to build a life, do adult stuff, and I'm forcing myself to grow as an individual in ways outside of content creation to be the man that I want to be, that I wish I had been when I was younger, but I just didn't have access and influence and like the right things that I should have been around. So like that's the work that goes on in my regular life. And then with content creation, it's a lot of the same. It's just in a different lane. And I think I'm constantly pushing myself, and I got a binder I carry around every day, which just lists the stuff that I need to be doing, and I kind of separate it, and I'm crossing these things out. And so but I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm just doing it because I know I have to do it. And so it's been essential for me to go back and look at all I did so I can say, like, you really are making progress. It helps me not be down on myself. I'm a person that's like, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, and then I'll hit like an obstacle. And instantly I'll feel like, damn, bro, you suck, you failing. Because I didn't even take time to notice the 20 wins I just did last week. I just see this one loss and it's what's in my way right now. So it's like, you can't do shit right. And then I get through that. And once I'm through it, I just discard it. Like, okay, that's done. I'm moving on. And so I don't want to do that anymore. I'm trying to actively tell myself, like, acknowledge what you're doing, appreciate the wins, give yourself credit, and use that. Like, let that build your confidence. Let that build your character and who you are and who you want to be.
Word. What about the rest of my co-hosts? Sam, you got any tips that you really stuck out to you for the year so far? Any wellness things that have kind of or any adjustments even like you guys have had to make that's just kind of like been beneficial to navigating the year so far?
It's similar to the same of what GB is going through. Sometimes I'm going through all the work, and then it's just like, all right, accomplish this, did this, but I never really like stop where I am and just look back of how much I've accomplished. Especially if you were to like think back like a year back then, 2 years, 3 years, how it all started, because usually people like before anybody that starts content creating, always tell people look at your favorite YouTuber's first ever video and see how like bad it is. This is how they start. This is how everybody starts. You just need to create, go somewhere, and then build your way up, and learn the lanes, learn the algorithm, learn the people, like build a network, build the people, like literally join into other spaces, do what feels do something that's uncomfortable, because that's going outside the box, and that will actually give you more perspective on learning of different perspective, as well as learning to help yourself grow, and that way you can think of how you want to grow grow yourself and grow your channel, and push forward. That's I always say. I always encourage people to just do it, but I'm recently accepting where not everything is. It's not too bad to be uncomfortable. You just have to learn your way around, and the struggle is the learning. So
Do you feel like stretching yourself in these new ways, is that something that you were fearful of in the past? Like, are you a person that likes, like, when you know you're good at something, that's your thing, you kind of like make that happen and stay there?
uh, I think what it is that I made it into a habit, and I didn't really like realize
Mm.
that what I've been doing is the same thing over and over again. And like, yeah, I'm doing the hustle, and yeah, I'm building the channel, I'm having the content, putting it together and all, but it becomes a routine. It becomes too common. It becomes like you're so tired of it. And like the more I've noticed I've been doing it over and over again, like I'm getting tired way too easily. It's because it's like the same. It's like almost doing the same workout over and over again. You're not gaining any muscles. You're not gaining any endurance. You're not doing more for yourself, especially when times will always be changing, and there's always going to be new thing that's happening. And if I'm not like at least be observant, at least see what's going on, or be able to express myself, or to be more of going out of the way of every community, every Twitch account, even if it's like a small Twitch account, or if it's a new one, I'm there. I've I'm building my own community of where I want to be. That's why I've like been joining so many of the Twitter spaces. That's why I tune into so many Twitch channels. I interact with a lot of people because, we were all there before. We all want to interact. We all need to like help each other build our own content and build new relationships that can go a long way if you just put in the effort and try.
Hell yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Spicy. Talk to us. What you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of like where everyone else is at. I've been on a social media fast because I was noticing how it just wasn't for me anymore. I wasn't feeling anything, in the past I felt creative. I felt like, post this, like make content, but like for a long time. And the year I had has been like really crazy. But I realized I'm like, I don't want to keep feeling this way. So I took a break from it to like reflect. And I've been rereading the Artist's Way and kind of like just getting back into my creative side and remembering things that I've done before in the past and going back to that, exploring it and allowing myself time to create, because I felt like for the longest I couldn't, because I had to like hurry up, get a job, been that hustle type of mindset. But I was putting all of my creative stuff on the back burner. But like during this month, I gave myself time to like explore that. And it's been nice. It's been scary at times because I feel like, am I allowed to do that? Can I do this? But it's like, yes, like you can't, just allowing myself space to create, to do the things that I enjoy doing and not making it routine. Like you guys were saying about how like when you make those things routine, you get bored with it. And I fell back in love with writing again. Because for longest I saw only as a career to get money, and I wasn't like enjoying it for myself. And now I'm back and now I'm like, I love writing again. And now I'm exploring, old things that I did before, picking back up, seeing like, whoa, I had something here, why did I stop? So it's just been like a really nice calming journey. And I'm loving how like we're all kind of like on that similar path, because it lets me know that like, like big things are coming, in the future for a lot of creatives, especially the ones I feel like are going to be shaking what we've seen normify, on social media, and really shaking the ground with that and bringing out something new from this mundaneness that I feel like we've all been feeling and looking at with what's been promoted to us creatively. So I'm really excited for that.
I do want to say a thing that's not and sorry to take your steam, Kenny. I know you're supposed to be leading the show. I can't help myself. A thing that I also think about when it comes to like the growth of creatives and us trying to like improve ourselves is kind of like that sometimes that tendency to over adjust, to overcompensate. And and it comes with growth naturally. Like I am an over adjuster. Like when I see something that needs to be changed, it needs to be done, I hit it hard, fast, and I try to be effective as possible. And I'm learning content creation. Sometimes I got to have a little bit more tact. Um, for instance, when it comes to me, like I said earlier, like me just moving on from things, I'm trying to practice like I acknowledge stuff and live in the moment with things, but then I'm also finding that it's causing me to like to hold on to some stuff that normally I wouldn't hold on to, and still in the present I don't want to hold on to it, but I haven't yet found that balance of like this is a let go moment and this is a hold on moment. I just switch from let go of everything and just move on. It's not worth my time, it's not worth my energy, I'm gone. And now I'm in this space where like, well, let me put some mental space into it. Let me put some time and energy into it. And so a lot of times now I found myself like overwhelmed here and there because I've adjusted too far. So then I'm overwhelmed with I'm thinking, is this like what should I do here? What should happen here? And I'm having like a decision paralysis when it comes to content creation. And that's been something I've fought on for like the past, I don't know, 2 months. I recognized it during the preparation for DreamCon. And it was something so fucking small that I can't even remember what the hell I was like bent out of shape about. But I thought on it for like an entire week and was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, why are you still here? Like, just choose and go. So that's something that I'm working on. And just overcorrection is funny because you realize some shit and you want to change it, you want to be good, you want to be better, and then you wake up like 8 months down the line and be like, I ain't want to be here though. I ain't want to do it like this.
Yeah, so one, this is the GB showcase of anime lately. You jump in whenever you feel like. That's not a problem. Second, I think similar to everything you guys have spoken on, just like the importance of, you know, is really self-identification, I think, for each of you in very different forms. GB said victories. Sam was just kind of like where his belonging is. Spicy basically said the same thing of like your creative self. And I think we're all in that light because we're adults, but we're also humans, and we're just trying to figure out what it means for us to do what we want to do in a way that makes us feel good. I think that's like the underlying thing. So there's definitely a lot of what all you have said that's working for me as well in the backgrounds. But I think the biggest thing for me personally where I've had to kind of like step back is I had to understand that I didn't have to take care of everybody. Um and it's not like from a people pleasing standpoint, it's from a I kind of just grew up being I'm the big brother, I'm the eldest, I'm one of the few males like in my age bracket for my family. So like I just kind of
You're the leader of the
assimilated
friend group,
that.
bro.
Yeah, I'm the assimilator of being that person, and that effectively takes me out of doing enough things for me the way I should do things for me. And so I've had to take stock in what that means for myself, um and make more time for me. And that was like a big thing that came up last year in therapy when I was doing therapy actively, was like there's not me, like I'm not even a part of my friendships and relationships at times, and people don't even realize that because I've put on this role. Not saying that I'm being fake in any type of way, it's that, but I actively have put less and less into myself. So that's what a big part of where this year has come from in general, where it's like, okay, well, I want to do voice acting, I'm gonna do voice acting. I want to, pick back up learning to play the saxophone. I want to stream, I want to do all of these different things. And it's just like I've always been that goal oriented person where it's just like I'm gonna get my goals done. But what I've had to come to terms with is that I can't take care of everyone, and I can't also get everything done. So it's like literally a blend of everything that you guys said. Same thing like GB said, like I am getting a lot more things accomplished this year than I ever could have imagined. But there's still so many things. I was like, oh, well, there was this one thing I wanted to do on the list. There was this goal that I thought I was going to hit for this point in time in a year. And it's like, no, like, it's all right, dude. Like, you didn't do this one thing, but you literally started 3 other things and have fostered relationships and friendships that you never could have foreseen happening at the top of the year to now. Like I couldn't have told you that at January that I would be on Anime Lately as a co-host and having a conversation with GB. I only knew who GB was off of like side conversations. I'd never even had a conversation or been in a space with you prior to this year. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I feel like I'm not going to be like, oh, we're best friends now. But I feel like everyone here that's on here, everyone that's in the chat right now, I feel like I can message you guys right now and be like, hey, can I get your opinion about this? Can I get some advice about this? And you guys would give me a genuine response from that. And I think that's part of just like the nature of, being genuine and seeking things for myself that align with me and realizing who I am and what I need to continue moving forward. Not just because I want to be a good leader and support for like my family and friends, but understanding that there's still things that I want to achieve. So that's for me where it's at. It's just kind of like finding a healthy balance of that. I guess almost on the opposite spectrum of UGB, it was like I need to kind of overthink a little bit more. I thought I was overthinking a lot, but apparently not about myself, just for everything else in life. So I'm trying to figure that out for myself. How do I put more effort and thought into the things that I'm looking into? So yeah, definitely big on the celebrate self. And understand that seasons happen. There's even week to week, I was just talking to my best friend about that. Like I thought I got into a really good rhythm about like how my weeks were going. And I was like, your boy was cooking, he was eating, he was going for the walks, he was Ubering and doing the full-time job streaming. And I was like, oh, this feels great. And then like a little slight depression hit and the schedule came off. And I was like, the end of the world for like a couple of days. And it was like, no, it's just another week. Every week isn't going to necessarily be perfect, and that's fine, you know.
Exactly. And it's funny because like when I'm reading the book, The Artist's Way, it says like you should take yourself on an artist date. So like do something creatively where it's just you. Like don't invite no one with you, no friends, family. Like just take yourself out and it's you and your inner artist, your inner child artist, and just have fun, and explore that. So I've been doing that. I've been watching like, like little shows to myself, or like kind of like going on walks or whatever, or writing or dancing, just doing those things to kind of like make your inner child self like happy. So yeah.
So I want to ask you guys, and GB once he comes back. Uh, did you guys ever accept help from people that like it doesn't even? I mean, of course, people you can trust to do the work. Like, have you ever accept the right help because you feel that these people are more like the people on your team or someone you rely on are like they know what to do, they know what to do, and do you always like appreciate their acceptance of help more of
Yeah.
not just like not you asking, but them asking you for help kind of thing?
I'll say for me, I'll jump in first on this one. I'll say for me, that's always been important. Um, but also understand that you're only can control of yourself. That's like one of my life philosophies. You're only in control of yourself at the end of the day, whether that's you giving advice or you receiving it. You can only do with it what you feel like you ultimately need to do or can do with it, and it's still your choice. So, short answer, yes. If you have something constructive to give, I'm gonna take it. And I'm gonna be very transparent with you about you taking it. I'm gonna be, and the other thing is, what I've learned over time is that there's even greater value in not just taking the advice, whether I accept it fully or not, but reciprocating and verbalizing my appreciation for that. So y'all hear me say that a lot. Even when I just join spaces, I'd be like, hey, appreciate y'all. Like I genuinely mean that. I just the fact of coexisting in a space with you and being able to have any type of insight and information for you, the littlest things that people don't even realize, just in like our regular interactions. You might have said something and you might have just remembered that you left your keys in your pocket, and all of a sudden that reminded me to do my laundry. That's not like a conversation that you have every day with people, but like those are important things that happen. So then for you to go a step beyond that and say like, hey, I noticed something I noticed something. Do you want to talk about it? Or, hey, we was talking about whatever. Or, hey, I know you're working on this voice acting thing. Have you checked this out? Like those things mean the world to me. Like I like that. Those are big things for me. So like the intentionality behind it, like is I think important. And then I think ultimately, I think we as individuals, and I think I can say this for everyone, I think we as individuals have to understand that it is important to have the feedback of your community because you see the world from a perspective. And it's not to say that your perspective is wrong, but you have to also operate and understand that other perspectives exist outside of your own. So it's good to get other perspectives, especially perspectives that don't necessarily think the way that you think.
Facts.
So yeah, we're talking about accepting
Help.
help. What you got,
Um,
Spicy or GB? Either one.
oh, I
You
guess
can
that's
go.
me.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Accepting help. What I got.
Like, is it normal for you to accept help, or is it usually?
No, yes and no. In work, I delegate, I give tasks to people, and it just seems to flow. But also, I feel like that's the mindset and the expectation that I am in when I go to work, and I know that needs to happen. With content creation, I didn't really step into this looking at myself as like um the captain of Worst Gen Pod. I stepped into it looking like I wanted co-captains. And so the way to this day I still look at the original four of us is like co-captains. So I go to them for advice. I talk to them on the phone. And as of late, I find myself, or not even as of late, I won't even say as of late because that's cap. Um, from early on in the podcast, you know, niggas was pushing the whole like, but you are the captain. Like you are the captain. And they reinforce that constantly, just like, because this shit don't happen without you. It don't move without you. So just go ahead and own that title. And I think more often than not, like normally I'll be wanting to talk to niggas like we cool, we same level. Like I'm just trying to chill. And I don't always like get that luxury. So now that, you know, it's been long enough and I'm doing enough shit now where I really gotta own that title and I need help. Because I can't grow anymore by just myself. I like if I was doing this full time and this was content creation was all I had, I would have the time to do more things. Um, or even if I wasn't working like I was working in my personal life and had other obligations, I would just sink more time into content creation. But I don't have that luxury right now. So now I need help. So that's why I put out a posting for an assistant. And we're looking for an assistant for Worst Gen Pod to help me grow some things and strategize on some stuff that is moving very slow with me, but I don't want to miss what I have right now here in the moment. Like I have momentum, things are stacking, things are building. And if I don't have an assistant, if I don't get some help right now, I feel like I'm going to kind of miss that train a little bit. And I don't want to be behind where I could be. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with asking for help, for wanting help, delegating tasks, and even the people that's on my team. I didn't sign the people that are here. They're here, and I didn't sign them up to do like back end stuff, to do like production and ops, and be thinking budget and shit like that. Like I just signed them up to talk on the pod and be talent. So if they volunteer themselves to do things, of course, like I'm gonna give it to you. But when I give something to somebody, I'm really expecting them to do it with high quality and just get it done. Like I'm not trying to be, I'm more hands off. Like I'm not trying to be micromanaging you and super involved. Because if that's the case, then I'm just gonna do it myself anyway. So and I think my crew knows that. Like they pretty much only volunteer for things that they really want to fucking do and they finna go do it. So I've been lucky in that regard. And other than that, like I'm looking for help now, working on, you know, actively seeking that and bringing the same things I do in my professional life to content creation, like delegation and all that, so that we can keep moving and get stuff done.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. I've had people reach out to me. One of the first voice acting things I've done publicly was Rome reaching out to me. Shout out to Rome. So like again, I can attest to that, and I love that about the way. And this is something that I feel like, I don't know if you realize that you do this, but this is the way that you present yourself constantly. Like you present yourself as like, it's not even like a humility thing. I can tell it's literally just your perspective. Is like, I want to coexist. If leading is happening, it's happening naturally. But what I want is to be in a space where we can all operate at a high level at the thing that we enjoy doing. That's what the perception, at least I gather from things that you say.
That's what I believe leadership is. I don't think
Right.
leadership is just me. Yes, it is me in front, and I have no problem being on the front lines to be the first person in the fire. Like I'm totally good with that. Give me that. But I also believe that leadership is learning from those people around me. You spoke about connection earlier. Like my connections come from people like Leak, come from people like Lettuce. If not for Rome, like I don't even know who the fuck you are, Kenny. Rome is the one that connected me to all your content and everything you're doing. Rome is the one that comes to me and says, "Hey, I want this person on Worst Gen Hotline." Rome's the person that will randomly say something while we, you know, having a FaceTime session, and it'd be like, "Have you ever heard of this person? Have you ever thought about this thing?" Leak is the same way. Leak is the person that's like, he's on Twitter and he's talking about profiles. He's sending me anyone that DMs the pod. And so I depend on them to do social media connections and like social connections that I really don't do. And when it comes to being in person, like I I know how to be in the spotlight, like be the life of the party, but I'm not actively always on that. I lean on Sensei to be like that energy to and like keep me grounded. Like, hey, it's time. Like we on, it's performing. Because regardless of what people say, like being a content creator and being in public, this shit is a performance. Like you gotta be in character, so to speak. And that's not to say like it's not authentic, but you definitely have to like make sure you presenting yourself the right way, that you carrying yourself how it should be. You can't have no random, like you just can't be anybody. So like I depend on these people to help me with that type of shit.
Shout out to
So
Rome. He's in the live chat too.
yeah, it's definitely coexisting. Um But that's just what I believe leadership to be. I don't think you can be a good leader unless you listening to the people that's following you and making sure that you stay grounded and you stay in touch. Because if I'm making decisions from my perspective and my pedestal is getting higher and higher, I'm not gonna see shit on the ground. Like eventually I'm gonna be too high to really make the right moves and stay connected, stay rooted in what the fuck we doing. So I depend on my generals or whatever the fuck you want to call them to keep my head on straight.
Yeah, the word that comes to mind for me there is accountability. You know, spicy.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's been saying it. I think with me this year, I've been because like y'all know when I first started all of this, I was very much like supporting everyone else. I've always been just like the supporter, but I think this year I've been stepping into that leadership mantle, and it was kind of weird for me because I'm just like, I don't do this. I'm always like the supporting friend, like hyping you up in the background. So it's definitely been an experience, I guess, stepping into that leadership role with like the different projects I want to work on. And I appreciate you guys' support, and then Abe for kind of like put it like checking me for in that stance of being like, you know, what do you want? Like stop asking what, you know, what everyone else thinks, and like know what you want and say that. And so that's been nice. But yeah, I agree with everyone else I said on here, where it's just like coexisting, accountability, and teamwork. Really, it's hearing new perspectives, because in a creative environment, that's how these ideas get birthed. And that's how, like, you know, because like not every idea you have doesn't come out exactly the way you think it's going to come out, like especially when you're working on a project with someone. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful, is when you have all these different ideas from other people who are excited about your idea or said idea, and you get to like birth something really new and different. So that's kind of been like my journey on that.
It's dope to have dope ass creators around you too. Like, it's cool to absorb from the people that's around you, and then when you can produce original shit and like and put out stuff that's got its own twist, its own flair, and the other people around you are feeding off that too. Y'all just constantly like putting out new stuff. It's like a push and a pull type effect. Like that's really awesome to have around you and to be able to kind of grow you, like iron sharpens iron, I guess as they say. And I think that's the relationship a lot of the more serious creators are looking for. Like you're looking for those people that are gonna push you, they're gonna drive you to be better when you're in your niche, your craft. Um, and even maybe some for fun, some for play creators. But I think the for play creators, they just here for the vibes. Like I don't really need to be pushed and driven to higher levels. I'm just here just to kick it. And if niggas pull up, they pull up. And if not, like I'm rolling.
I feel that because I know like a lot of people like can want to make do content creating for their own entire career, and there's a lot of hustle, a lot of grind, but I think at first we should start like encouraging each other, because this might be the supporting others kind of vision, but I definitely can see like when we're doing something that we're not really too used to, because that's how I actually I saw Kenny and Spicy when they're doing their own streams and they're doing their own like personal like solos and stuff. I saw them like they have their own personality, they have their own charisma, they have their own energy into each of their streams, and that's actually what like encourages me to watch everybody else's like stream, even if it's just if I'm the only one like live view streaming for each and another one, but I see something in them, I see something in their talent, and like Kenny have said, like if you voice your opinions on them of what's going on, like what you see and their positivity, it really helps, because like
Yeah.
because a lot of streamers like a lot of them are discouraged because even though they were to stream every single day, but they only get like one or two live streamers that follows with them. I think it takes a real viewer to know like what's the strong suit, what might be their weakness, what you can do to help. I think like it's
But see,
also.
I don't really buy into the discouragement. That's part of the process. Like
Hmm.
I think like people say like, oh, they're discouraged and we gotta give them these compliments and stuff and help them out. But I really don't believe in like telling people they doing a damn thing and giving people praise if the content is not there. Like if you're not doing anything and it's just like you're doing the same thing over and over and you're discouraged, like switch it up, like try something new. I'm really looking for people to like have a spark, and then that's kind of like who I want to invest in. But I do see a lot of creators on the timeline that they want you to support them just because they black. And if that's, or they want you to support them just because they identify as such and such, or support me because I like anime and you like anime. And those are like really, really shallow reasons to get into a creator. You get into a fucking creator because you identify with them. You like what they're about. They're putting their personality, their energy, their entire soul is on the line in their content. And then that's what connects you. And when a person is just up there like support me because this, but it's not translating through, I don't feel the type of way for those type of creators. I especially don't feel a way when they're on social media or on timelines and they're like begging for those views or upset because they're not getting those views. Cause I feel like that energy should go towards you doing better, and or at least you trying to do better. Not necessarily like and better, not necessarily in a sense like your content sucks or something, but you gotta try new avenues. Like part of this shit is really realizing like, yo, I don't really got the fucking personality for a streamer, bro. I should not be on Twitch every day, and I'm just on here like, so guys, what do you think you want to like? This isn't me. If I'm meant to be a podcaster right now, like I'm gonna go be a podcaster, and then I can maybe build up to streaming after I'm talking for a while. Or I'm really good at dancing, but like I ain't got enough brain cells firing upstairs to have long conversations with people. So let me start off on TikTok making, relevant TikToks that are witty and have jokes. And then maybe I can lead up to having enough conversation points where I can do a conversation. So I just think creators get out there and they try one way, and then it's discouragement. And I don't think we do anyone any favors when it's just like, oh no, you're killing it. And they're not actually killing it. It makes them more bitter. It makes them more jaded. Cause then it's like, oh yeah, I am fucking killing it, but I'm not getting no credit. So what's up? Like it's a disconnect right there. You kind of either be honest with people or don't say anything. More often than not, I just don't say anything because if people don't ask for my honesty, I found it's not best to give it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you spitting, you spitting, bro.
And no, and I agree because I feel like this market is already saturated, and I think that's why I kind of wasn't feeling social media anymore, because I felt like I was seeing just the same kind of stuff, and then that made me stuck because I'm just like, well, what do I want to create? Because like it's along the lines of this, but I still know it's way different than this, and I had to like realize like I can't always be looking at references from other people. I have to like look at like what I want to do, and chances are it's not going to look like what anyone does. Anything creatively anyone does is not going to look like the same person does it. And I think, and I agree with the whole like it's good to support, but like it's also good to encourage. It's also good for you as a creator to try new things, and if they fail, they fail. Like that's just comes with the territory. Like you're not always going to put out hot fire stuff all the time. Like you're not. It's gonna have some flops. That's just part of the game. But it just, bro, I put out some really bad videos where I'm like, why did I put this out? Editing was horrendous. Like, oh my God, I can hear the audio cuts in my ear. Like, why did I put this out? But it's a learning experience.
You need those. Yeah, you
exactly.
You never get better. Like you need the moments to be like, I really sucked on this shit, bro. This is a problem. I have to go fix this. Exactly. Imagine if you went years and you never had a bad moment, and then you finally have a bad moment in year 5. That shit's gonna destroy you. You're gonna be like, oh, I'll like you're gonna feel exposed. So all those moments of you like having L's, live in them, like feel them, and don't let anyone tell you that it's not an L when you know it's an L. Like acknowledge that. And there's nothing wrong with taking an L. I think a lot of people think that there's some huge problem with if you fuck up. Like I feel that way. I was telling somebody in a in-person conversation about Anime After Dark, and I'm like, yeah, man, I don't feel strong about every episode we do. Like sometimes we do episodes, I'm like, yo, I was trash on that shit. Like I didn't like this. I go back and listen to the tape, so to speak, and like, oh, you should have transitioned better right here, or you could have did this. You should have stepped up right here and came in and took control of that situation. You got to do that, because if you can't say that about yourself, then like you got to be able to listen and watch your stuff with, I guess, the producer's eyes and ears to make yourself better. And if you're not doing that and you just believe that you deserve the million fans, you just believe that you deserve the sponsorships and the paid ads and all that should just come to you because you got it, that's not going to work out. And social media be encouraging people, making people think like,
sure do.
I got it, it's finna work out. So people just be on, they delusional. They're living in a fucking cage and they don't even realize it.
And I think with creatives like us who like go back and look at it for reference, I don't want to take it seriously, but like I think we understand like what that means, and I think people who want to do it for fun, maybe, I think feel all of that and think like, oh, I'm owed this, and it's like, boo boo. If you really eat, breathe, sweat, and love this, then you understand that like it's not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to be the spotlight, but when you have the audacity to try, knowing all those variables are a part of it, then that's when you start getting noticed just by you just trying. And I think once everyone understands that, like this pressure of content creation in general I think will like cease to like stop having all of these I guess like these like titles, everything we need. And it's like, bro, like just create, like, you know, that's it. It's really simple. And you never know what who you're gonna be. You're not going to discover about yourself when you allow yourself that space to do that. You know, when you're always doing it for the likes or this and that, like it messes with your mental health. That's why I had to get from social media, because I was like, I wasn't creating. I was just like scrolling endlessly of content, and I'm just like, what? I don't know. I don't belong here. I don't know what to do here. To look at myself and be like, I need to like separate. But yeah.
I think we're all looking for a sense of purpose in life in general. And I think social media has inflated that in a kind of way because we think that it's a certain gratification that's being given to you. And at the end of the day, right? Like, so like I write poems occasionally, right? And I really like writing poems. But like, there's a difference between writing a poem to get something off of my chest, writing a poem for the sake of me performing it. And there's other variables to that. There's just so many different, like you will execute that differently. And I think there's an important balance of like, one, you should put out things that you want to do. Like if I make a TikTok and I just feel like reacting to it, I just feel like reacting to it. If I put up a TikTok because I want to practice some voice acting stuff, I'm doing that for that reason. If I request feedback, much like GB said, I'm gonna ask for feedback. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be very intentional about that type of stuff. And I think people don't have a good sense of that balance of like, you should get criticism. You should be okay with criticism. You should feel comfortable. You should welcome it. I am concerned for people who are afraid of receiving criticism. But also, like I said before, like you kind of have to understand that balance of like, it's not like you have to absorb every single thing that everybody says. And I say that to circle back to the point of that's the biggest issue when you get absorbed in the idea of the following, right? Because now you're overemphasis on like everybody that's following you. So now you went from, I'm creating content that I think is meaningful, or I'm creating content that I feel good about, to, oh, I'm creating content because I made content that made other people feel good and that gave me a lot of attention. I want the attention, therefore I got to try to make everybody else feel good. You've now completely flipped the script on why you were even creating content to begin with. And I think that, like, again, like you have to understand that you're going to go through phases and iterations, right? So I think GB, you made a good point. I
normally do.
I'm here. I'm here right now, right? But this, while it feels like it's good right now, is literally just the first step to something else that I may have to do. And it doesn't mean that it's going to put me in the same direction that I'm currently facing, but it was a step I needed to take in order to get to whatever the next step may be. And I don't think people live life with that level of understanding. So I've actually been sitting on this question. I was really happy that the question kind of the convo changed in this direction. Do you think that this is something that we should be putting more emphasis into in regards to like the education system from a young age? Because I don't think any of us just started becoming creators or content creators. You know what I mean? Do you think that we were not putting enough emphasis on, you know, receiving criticism and being original and, you know, creation in general, just from like a unique perspective or from a level of self and purpose? Do you think that's something that we need to be putting more emphasis into our education systems?
100%. 100. Like I back in college, I took a course on this very topic of social media and how like you think you're consuming so much, and really it's like it's like half of that. It's not really, it's the same thing repeated on your feed, you know what I'm saying? But it's like it's happening at once that it seems like it's a lot. But it's like learning that at the end of the day, this thing isn't a real place. It's a creative tool. Like it's not meant to be taken as like literal in any sense, but it's a tool at the end of the day, especially Twitter. But I feel like it's important to teach this because social media is such a major part of our society. So it's important to teach kids, especially impressionable kids, how to navigate it. Because if not, then you have these recurring issues that we're always having with bullying and suicide and things like that, to where we're like, oh, how did we get here? How did we get here? It's like, look at the breadcrumbs. Like, look at what's like feeding the society, what's feeding these kids. And I think it 100% needs to be taught in schools, because I think in schools it's frowned upon, like, you know, but I think like if you create that environment to help kids navigate these lands, they'll be more honest with themselves, with their parents, and even honest with how they use the tool. And that's kind of like where I'm at, because it's like it's dangerous if it's not taught well.
I think education, like schools, because it's multiple systems of learning. Right? If I wanted to separate it into 3 very shallow general categories, you could say like you got the education system, which is like school and kids go through, you know, pre-K, kindergarten, grammar school, high school, college, post-secondary, whatever. And then I would say you got like activities, like hobbies. That could be martial arts, that could be sports, competitive sports, that can be gaming, just interactions that you have like for your hobby, something that you're building on a craft, those skills. And then the third type is social. And all 3 of those categories pretty much like overlap, and you pick up different things from those categories. I think it's skewed. The thing that's skewed across all 3 right now is this concept of acceptance and trying to root out everything that seems like it's not ideal. I think social media has made this kind of it's gotten so good at showing you the perfect world to where you're living in a vacuum. So like Spicy just said, where like you're on there and you think you're consuming so much, but you're really just consuming the same thing over and over. It's creating this image of this world where you're seeing, like if you're on LLC Twitter, you're seeing the same people talk about get money, fuck bitches, open an LLC, buy 15 Airbnbs. Like you're seeing these same things over and over again. And that's life. Like that's reality to you. And so I think that people aren't getting enough adverse experiences that go against what they're looking for. And if you get that in your life, you start to like, you have to look inward. You have to be a little bit introspective and say to yourself, like, hey, this situation didn't work out. So in education, that would look like teaching kids soft skills, how to deal with their emotions, how to lead from both behind and in front. You know, if you're going to teach them hard skills and you're going to teach them like tangibles, like they're going to have core subjects, that can come later on. I feel like up until like 6th, 7th grade, you should be teaching kids how to like interact and deal with the situations that will come to them in life. When it comes to activities and shit, and you got kids that are on sports teams that get trophies just for being in the league. That shit is crazy to me. Like I'm finding out kids, if you're on a team and that team came in 20th place, you get participation trophies. Like that makes no sense to me. You shouldn't have a trophy sitting at home as a monument to like absolute failure. And that's not to say like you should be discouraged that you came last in the league, but definitely if you want that trophy, get up, work at it. Like off season, be doing workouts, like encourage your teammates to work with you and try to get there next year, try to improve, try to do better. But I think when people are just getting rewards for not doing, it's kind of taken away from their ability to participate, and they get that from activities. And socially, I just think it's so frowned upon to, yes, I do believe that honesty should have tact, it should have empathy, it should have compassion, but I don't think that honesty is viewed in the same lens as it used to be and as it should be. I think honesty can be told to people, and people have to learn how to kind of deal with what the facts are or what someone's perspective of them is, and not take that personal. Like not take that as a personal attack, but understand like this is how this person sees me. It's not necessarily like they saying I'm the worst human being ever, or because they don't agree with me, like they're shitting on me, but this is how this person sees me. And if I don't see myself in that way, what am I not communicating to get this across to these people. And I don't think that that's the response that the average person is having these days in any of those educational systems. People are just having like it's roses and milk and honey all the time. And if it's not that, it's it's like on or off. It's either like all milk and honey or it's absolute chaos. There is no in between. It's either we trying to shit on somebody and destroy their whole lives and make them feel like they don't even deserve to exist, or it's, oh, you got it, you're so pretty, you got all the power, like you him. It's just I like there's no in between. There's no I can't find the word, but yeah.
No,
Yeah, but
balance. People don't
yeah.
live in balances these days. People always live in
Yeah.
extremes.
I
And
feel like we
it's
should be making more well-rounded, like we should be upbringing more well-rounded individuals. Like we live in a genius culture with our education system from like a school perspective to begin with, so that's already an issue in and of itself. And then the whole idea of getting rid of the concept of like you're included by participating. You don't need a trophy for participating. The point of you participating in whatever event or league, whether it's a math, whether it's a spelling bee, whether it's sports, is that you're trying to push yourself to an elevated level.
exactly. It's
A level to
experience.
say that I am as good as, or I am the best of these elite group of people. So if everyone's getting a trophy, who's elite? What do you have to dream after? What do you have to pursue when everyone, if you're just going to get rewarded just for showing up? But that's the thing, is that's the mindset that the government will never openly admit. That's what they want. They want the
And
mass
that's it.
majority of people to
That
think
is
that
your
way.
goal too. I do want to say that is your goal, to like rise to the top. It is totally okay to have activities that you just like fucking do because it's a release from everything else. It is okay to do stuff for fun and not want to like not even care if you're good at it. Like it's just fun to do. But if you are looking to rise, yes. And then my fault, Kenny. Like back to what you were saying.
No, you good. I was just gonna pitch it to Sam next and say if you got anything.
Yeah, I was gonna like, because we all kind of tackled it, and it's basically, and it all comes down to I think what GB just said much earlier on. It's really dangerous to look at the few success in stories and think of them as the role model, the aspirations of they can do it, I can do it kind of thing. People are willing to say, yeah, I want success, but never willing to sacrifice what they like, how much sacrifice they would need to take, because each content creator, everybody in career, anybody had to sacrifice so much and was placed in different living conditions or stages and stuff like that, because there are people who have worked like 40-hour work job and then literally after work have to go streaming just to help build their own channel, help to build everything, have to learn what they need to learn, connect, spend the time to connect who need to connect. It takes a lot of sacrificing of not just your own time, but your mental health, your physical health. Sometimes like even like there are people who've done this for almost a decade or even more, and they know like they actually sacrifice not having kids in the future, less sleep, like all of it. And it's not, and sometimes even the payout is not like the greatest until like you are the biggest success, but you know how much, what did it all cost you, like literally everything. And people, and I feel like the younger generation does not see that. They only see the success, but they'll never see the hard work and story. That's if I were to bring this in reference into like One Piece, everybody saw Roger as the king of the pirates and as something to aspire to be the king of the pirates. And the thing about One Piece is you're seeing Luffy's entire story, his journeys, his fights, his struggles, every journey that he's gone through and every arc that he's gone to. That's the life of a person who's willing to fight, like scratch claw, willing to blood, sweat, and tears just to be that king of the pirates, and just so that he can have all these people, his crew, his mates, the people that he's known, into his journey to be Pirate King. That's why I gotta really respect Oda, and I think that's what helped so many people love One Piece, because you can believe that the journey is real, even if someone have already made it. One Piece is real, like your dream is real. Be willing to fight. Be willing to like fight for it, and most people actually die for it. And I think that's although it's like a too steep of a position to be in, like sometimes you have to be willing to die for your dreams because that's what you strive to be. But remember to like rub the crud out of your eyes that these are not dreams. These are not safe dreams to go through. But you know the cost. You knew what you were getting yourself into, and if it only lasts you up to a certain point where you just quit and everything, like that just literally shows how much your dream had left you in, like how much it put you in the spot.
And I think it also too, like all of that. I also think people don't allow themselves to be vulnerable, like with anyone, let alone their own self, because I think that's where a lot of truth relies when you're honest with yourself, when you're honest with the situation. You see it for what it is. You don't see it as like the whole the hustle culture, or you don't see it as like I gotta get by any means. You see it's like this is where I currently am. This is how I feel in this season. How do I navigate this? And I wish that was taught in high school, because in high school, like a lot of teens have all of these new emotions that they don't get to process in the way they want to because of the schooling system and how it sucks and wants to pump them out with tests. So I appreciate teachers who add those teachings within lessons. I'm a huge advocate for having creative arts classes and core curriculum, because a lot of kids learn way better that way with a lot of stuff, especially with math, just any core subject. Adding that creative spin onto it just the difference, but that takes work on a teacher's end. So it's like
I hate monotone teachers. I hate monotone teachers, and I don't mean just like monotone. Like if you don't understand that you have
a fucking book,
if you don't understand that you have a group of different individuals and they all have their own significant learning style. Like the first couple of weeks of any school for any teacher should be you trying to learn the personality of your students, and then you should be modifying whatever direction you want to send your class in. That's my perspective.
And that's where I used to get mad at teachers who were like didn't, but then I was like, I have to look at their situation as well. Like they're giving a time crunch. Like the superintendent are on their asses to pump this stuff up and have numbers and spark funding. My high school was like that shit. I hated it. Like we went down to a B school and all hell broke loose. It was like y'all getting tests out the ass. Like y'all, they're like we are A+ school year.
You can't handhold. Don't get me wrong, but you can't teach a single way without any other resources to an entire classroom of kids.
Especially if like
I think
30.
It depends on where you at. Like, cause I'm from being from a low income area, my classrooms are 40 kids in a room. A teacher has 40 kids in 45 minutes. Like even if you gave every kid a minute, just imagine like you're going to every kid for 1 minute. Like you're barely getting it done in that 45 minutes. And that's if we all show up and the classroom goes perfect. So I think it's resources, like education being tied and the performance of students being tied to money is a problem. So teachers, like if they want to get paid, if they want the school to get resources, they got to pump into you what the money is coming from and not maybe necessarily what you need. So that's problem number one. But, I do also think teachers can also, maybe they can't cater their teaching style to every student, but they can teach students to like analyze and pull in the way they need to pull from. So, for instance, I had to teach myself when I was young, like I'm a hands-on learner. I can read books all day, but you see me like picking stuff up and touching it and doing it. And that's where I pick up stuff. That's where I learn like the most from. And that's what works for me. Another way that kind of works similar to it is I just observe people. So I try to like get around people and get close to someone and I can observe them and then I can go try what they're doing or test it out. For instance, one person who's been super influential to me in the content creator journey is Tate. Ever since I met Poodle, like she changed my whole perspective on everything that I was looking at. Without Poodle, I think it would be way easy. It would be super easy for me to be doing anime after dark, how we're doing it right now, and for me to feel jaded. For me to feel like I'm not getting what I deserve. These niggas don't see me. They don't know GB. I'm not getting my credit. But then I see everything that Poodle's doing. She's always working. She puts the effort in. She does things on the back end, the stuff that she's talking about and that she's interested in and how she's feeding back into her craft. That lets me know that like you got to be on the same things to be doing what Poodle was doing. If I ever want to get there, I got to be working like that. And then also what I can see from Poodle is everything is not just the work that I put in. Some of this shit is pure luck. It's you being right place, right time, you meeting someone that you didn't know was gonna connect you through 6 degrees of separation to somebody else. So you might think that I put 15 hours a day into the content that I'm doing, but it could also be that you haven't just met the right person yet. Like you got to find that balance and kind of like, so I've learned those lessons from her. I've learned how to observe and pull from other people, and I've learned how to be hands on. And I think that that's a thing that teachers can do too. Maybe those first 3 years in school, teachers can focus on making sure kids understand how to learn in the way that's best for them. And then that might help teachers out down the line when they have 40% classrooms in high school. Students already know how they need to learn. Like I can come to you and tell you what I need from you rather than you trying to get me as a 16-year-old to learn this lesson now.
Word. So we've already been going at this for an hour and a half. So I want to do a couple of things. One, I want to say first right now, thank you, GB. We gonna have to have some more conversations, whether it's on here or on the side. But this has definitely been a great course of conversation. I'm glad that it's been flowing so naturally. What I want to do here, as we're like going into like that last maybe like half an hour, I'm not sure how much more time you got for us, GB, but I did want to ask just a couple more questions from Twitter real quick, and then I want to kind of like lay back a little bit because I don't know about y'all, but these are things that I'm really passionate about and a little bit of heavy, so I like to kind of shift back to some anime talk and just kind of like soften it up to just to kind of wrap up the show. But
most definitely, I got time just to let you know. I set aside 3 hours. I couldn't remember how long you guys' streams went.
Yeah,
or not.
It'd be 2 to 3 hours.
I know y'all don't do it. I know y'all don't do an anime after dark 7 hour or 6 hour, but I couldn't remember.
No,
so I set 3 aside for y'all.
I appreciate that.
That's good.
Yeah, so I still, like I said, I want time to talk, but I didn't want to I appreciate and I'm grateful for the conversation we just had, but I did want to shift it back a little bit. So real quick, Zaria asks, favorite classic scary movie. How did you feel about the last chapter in Vinland Saga? I'm guessing this is very specific to you, GB. So
it is, but I have not read the last chapter of Vinland Saga. I've been super busy, and I made a goal to finish Bleach by the time the 1,000-Year Blood War arc drops on the anime.
Ooh, how much more chapters you got?
I just passed like chapter 615, so I think I got something like 771.
Yeah,
I think it's 686.
You under 100. Yeah, but you under 100.
I'm trying to get there. But we shout out to Anime After Dark. Shameless plug right now. We got the Bleach episode on Thursday. We talking all things Bleach. That's at 8:30 p.m. CST. I need to be prepared for that conversation as well. So I'm trying to really finish it by Thursday and not by the 10th. Now my timeline got moved up by four or 5 days. So I'm trying to rush through these last moments to get all the chapters read and make sure I'm prepared for that conversation, because I need to slander Bleach and be able to fight this nigga like that.
Oh man, that's gonna be fun. What about a favorite classic scary movie?
Favorite classic scary movie? I really don't get scared in movies. The only movie that ever like really had me fucked up, like that scared the hell out of me, and people always look at me crazy when I say this, but it was Little Shop of Horrors. When I was younger, I first watched Little Shop of Horrors. I was like 4 or 5. That shit was too real for me because we had this huge house. Like my parents went and I got this house and they had this plan, but the house, we had no furniture. Like literally you just had furniture in your bedroom, like a bed and a dresser. The rest of the house was empty. And so my mom just filled it up with like plants. Like we had like small trees in the living room. It was plants everywhere, like all throughout the house. So like you would be coming upstairs and it's just plants everywhere. And it's just like, okay. So I do remember the house being really fresh as a kid, but the plants had me freaked out. And I watched Little Shop of Horrors in the basement. And it's like a split level. So, it's like 3 or 4 levels on the way down. I watched Little Shop of Horrors in the basement and just, it was like, feed me, Seymour, feed me, and singing in the mouth. And so bedtime comes. I don't know why my dad let me watch this shit at night. So bedtime comes and it's like, all right, go upstairs and go to bed. So I'm walking upstairs and all the lights is off in the house, but it's moonlight coming through the window or street lights. we don't get moonlight in the city. We got street lights. So it's street lights coming through the window, and I'm getting little glimpses of the plants and shit, and they look like they ready to lunge out at me. And it tore me up the whole way up to my room. Like I'm mad scared, like taking little steps. And I gotta say, for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, I was fucked up. I was scared to walk through the house at night. I was doing shit like it'd be time to go upstairs, and I would like sprint the whole way up the stairs through the house. Like, can't let these niggas get to me, and close the door behind me. I had one little plant in my room. I moved that nigga out into the hallway. I was not fucking with the game. Couldn't do it. So that's the only movie that ever really just scared me. There have been from that whole what is it, like The Grudge and stuff like that shock effect type hair. There have been things that have made me jump like, oh shit, she ugly as hell. But I haven't just had a movie that had me scared. So I would say that's the one that had me scared. And if we talking classic, I gotta go with like a Halloween. I think I think Halloween is just fun to watch, the cerebral nature of it. The fact that you can really identify with like I identify with the killer, like, man, y'all treated this nigga bogus. Like, I feel that nigga. Take your power back, King. Kill all them. I think Halloween would be a classic for me.
You looking forward to that I guess finale that's supposed to be coming out?
I guess I'm kind of disconnected. I don't know what movies is in theaters. I just found out about this movie Bullet Train, and I'm trying to go
good one.
check
Yeah.
that out.
It's
go
very,
watch
it,
it.
it,
I
it,
haven't
it's
watched it
very,
yet.
it's very anime.
But I have no clue what's in theaters. Like I'm disconnected from everything. I'm a little too deep in my content. So I think it was spicy to say earlier, like, check out from other stuff and just be in your content. And I think you also got to check out of your content sometimes and get
Yeah.
out of your own vacuum and consume other creative shit. So I need to get myself out there and check out some movies, watch a couple ad campaigns, look at some market, like just consume other stuff for the hell of it and make sure that I got a good balance. But I'm super disconnected. I didn't even know it's another Halloween coming. All I seen is Michael Myers footworking on my timeline because that's a Chicago classic.
Word. All right, I'm gonna rapid fire a couple more things to you. The Mr. and Mrs. Go-To TV show / movie from Sam himself.
Go-to TV show / movie. Okay, we got a couple. I'm gonna give you the go-to when we just like we need something leisurely and we damn near need to be going to bed, but we eating a snack or something. Bob's Burgers. We'll turn on Bob's Burgers and let that
Nice.
shit just play, and that's just a classic. Like it has to go.
You watched the
go-to
movie?
right? Yeah. No, we have not seen the movie. I was scared of COVID, so we didn't actually go to the theater. So we need to damn near watch it. Oh wait, we did
It's
watch
on
the
it.
movie. We did watch the movie. Yes, we did. I fucked with the movie.
It was
I
just a
love the
long
animation.
episode.
Yeah, to me it was a long episode because we watched the movie here at home, so that's why it didn't even stick out to me because we doing normal stuff. Bob's Burgers. The go-to right now is probably a tie between Abbott Elementary and House of the Dragons. So we've been watching both of those, but we haven't seen the two newest episodes because she's been out of town. So I'm trying to do right by her and not watch it without her. Or at least if I
man.
That's
if
good.
I watch it without her, I gotta lie and I can't expose myself on.
No,
live.
don't.
That-
You didn't
that's-
even say.
that's
You didn't even
law.
say
That's
that.
commitment
not even
law.
a
Find
thought.
out.
That's
not
commitment
even a
law.
thought.
Because she gonna find out and curse you out. That's how it be.
Yeah, you ain't gonna laugh hard enough at a scene or something. Just it's fine.
Be like,
You
you
ain't-
watched it, didn't you? Like
Wait.
you just be know it.
Why you ain't cry with me? That's
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think yeah, because I'm not like her. Like she can watch some shit multiple times and she reacts and moves like it's the first time she ever watched that shit. It's only like a couple things in this world I've rewatched or reread, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm page turning. For the most part, if I'm rewatching something, I'm kind of just sitting there like I knew that shit was coming. Like my mind just I'm ahead of I just can't do it. So yeah, I don't even the lie wouldn't even work. She'd be looking at me like you're not even having the reactions you're supposed to have. I'll be over there like, oh no, I can't believe it. If I had to do a go-to serious show that we love to watch and we can't wait for the seasons to drop, and I don't know if this is like super serious, but we love Killing Eve on Hulu. I think that show is underrated. and the main antagonist on there, Villanelle, her ass be acting her ass off. She go crazy. So we definitely love Killing Eve. We watch that together. As far as movies, she's really into low budget like black films, and so I think that's like our thing. She got me into like watching I call them blackbusters, like BET used to do the blackbusters back in the day. So she got me into like the blackbusters on Amazon Prime, and
I was gonna say Amazon Prime. I watched it with my
Prime
mom.
got that shit.
They got some bad ones. They got some church ones. I used to watch with my mom. Where I'm like, what budget was this? $10? Like, what?
A favorite on Amazon Prime. If y'all want the recommendation, Plug Love. With my homie Murder Pain. Anything that Murder Pain is in, bro, be acting. Get in there. Plug Love is a hit. They got a movie. It's like My Side Chick is the Pastor's Daughter, or something like that.
I watched that.
Saw something like that.
It was the girl from Cheetah Girls, wasn't she? It was Church Girl. It was Church Girl. She was in that. But
something like that.
Yeah.
T be turning stuff on. She'd be like, "Oh, this is Shorty from XYZ," and
yes,
we'll check it out. The dude the guy that did that song, I left home to be with my side chick, something like that. Y'all remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a whole like 2.5 hour movie. The movie is trash. The scenes drag on for way too long, but all his music is in that movie. And so he has multiple like scenes that are like music video scenes, and it's just entertaining to sit through that shit.
Wow, man. That reminds me of what was it, Lonely Island? They had their little movies and montages things. Yeah, but that's funny. My roommate is pretty good for doing that too. Sit and watch some, as you call it, blackbusters. That's interesting. I definitely need to check out some of those things. I trying to find time to navigate watching House of Dragons. I was so hyped for it, and I still have not made it past episode 1. So, but it's always just finding time. Also, like, I really like to like watch shows while I'm like eating and cooking and stuff like that. So like that's usually good times to do stuff. But when I get so busy that I'm not having effective time to sit down and like do anything, then I'm not watching anything. So it gets a little hard. People are like, "Oh, you're not caught up on this?" I was like, I don't know how y'all think I'm caught up on all the seasonal anime, every single TV show that come out, streaming, working 2 jobs, trying to learn to voice act. Yeah, what do y'all think this we got 24 hours in a day? Barely. It's really less than that. But nah, I think those are some fire suggestions. I gotta go check out some of that stuff. The last question I'm gonna throw at you is from me. If you could travel anywhere in the world today without any worry and fully immerse yourself in the culture for a week, where would you go and why?
I just came back from Mexico. That shit was a blast.
I was about to say it could be someplace you went already. I just if you've been there, let us know why. It should be a little easier to tell us why. Or if you want, just tell us about Mexico since it was a blast.
Mexico was dope as hell. It's my first time spending this amount of so 2 firsts for me. I've been to Mexico twice before this, but I was working both times. So we like did other shit. Like I had to go to Cancun to work and we went and got drunk, but that was that. I didn't really spend no time. And then I went to Oaxaca because I had a friend that wanted to try the food or wanted to introduce me to the food. And they have like it's like 3 layers to Mexican food. There's like the ancestral food, and then there's like what they eat in modern society, and then there's like American Mexican food. And so he took me to Oaxaca where they do like the ancestral food. So they had like blue corn tortillas with roasted cricket. And so I got to try some stuff like that just to say you did it. Would I be searching for that in the future? Probably not. But it wasn't the worst thing I ever had. So those are my only experiences with Mexico. So this was the first that I was out there for longer than a day or 2. We were out there for 8 days. And this was the first that I stayed in a resort. When I travel, I'm a backpacker. So like, that's what I love to do. I love to be in the culture. I stay in hostels. I rent a bed out. I go around, I eat street food. I talk to locals. Like that's my vibe. So we were in a resort this time and that was totally different from me, like kind of being on a gated community. But we got so lucky because we're trying to find a medium. She does not want to stay in hostels. She does not want to be in the middle of some strange city with, people she doesn't know, and it's just not her vibe. So the medium was the resort, and we would go into the city. But we got so lucky because we went out there on Mexican independence, and this was a lesson for me because in my mind, I thought Mexican independence was Cinco de Mayo. Um, I was ignorant on that, and I got like fucking educated. They're like, no, like this is the real Mexican independence. That's some American shit you guys made up. So I was like, cool. So we really like the resort we stayed at, they did like a full, like authentic kind of show. We got to see the dancers, learn about the culture, the history. We learned about independence. We learned about the revolution before independence. We learned about how Puerto Rico was I mean not Puerto Rico, Puerto Vallarta was raised and built. We learned, unfortunately, the influence that America had on parts of Puerto Vallarta and what that did to it. And it was just cool to learn all those things and see all that. And then at the very end of the thing, like we're eating, we're drinking, we kicking it. It's all like, food that they make. And the president, like we get to see the president come up, and it's a big thing for them. And like the president, they have this thing they do. They bring the flag up, and then he holds the flag and he gets to saying hella shit in Spanish. And I'm not a good enough Spanish speaker to know what the fuck he was talking about. All I know is every time he finished a bar, we got to scream out "Viva Mexico." And so I'm just in the room, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, like, let's go. And he bar after bar after bar. It's like listening to some old Wayne in like 2008. And you just on the hook. Like you just got to be live for it. So Mexico is definitely dope. To your question, if I had to choose a culture or a place to go right now that I just want to be immersed in, I think I would want to go to Croatia and just unplug right now. I think I got a lot of things going on. Croatia is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the world. It's unreal when you're in Croatia. Like I felt like I was in that movie Avatar. And I just like, yeah, it's just like, can someplace be this beautiful? Like this shit, wow. Like the water crystal clear, the foliage is green and robust and lush. The cliffs are like steep. It's just dizzying sometimes when you in nature in Croatia. So I would love to just go there, turn off my phone, unplug for a few days, and maybe just like get to self, just relax and do that. If I wanted like a stimulating experience, I think Japan is the next like stimulating trip I want to take. Um, and I think if I wanted like a spiritual experience, I want to either backpack or bike Africa. That's on a bucket list of mine to, start all the way north or start all the way south and then make my way through the continent, just kind of learning and seeing.
That's what's up, man. I think Japan would be a good place to find that happy medium for y'all as well, because there's definitely opportunities where you get that hostile kind of situation, but it's like very intentionally giving you the opportunity to be immersed in that family and culture and experience. I think like they have better setups for that in certain places, just based off of conversations I've had with other people. So I definitely hope you make it out there soon. I hope I make it out there soon. But yeah, so that's the questions. Rapid fire, got that out the way. Obviously, if anybody got anything else they want to talk about, you are free to do that. But we are going to transition over to the more anime and manga side of things. So
let's go.
First question is are there any webtoons that you watch outside of the norm of the anime and the manga realm? Are there any webtoons that you keep up or manhwas that you keep up with outside?
I don't know if the Breakers is an actual webtoon, but it is a manhwa, I believe.
Yes, it is.
I was keeping up with the
It's on there.
Breakers. Yeah, I was keeping up with the Breakers before I started doing like Bleach. Really, I just committed to Bleach right now. So I was keeping up with the Breakers. I got into solo leveling. I think during when I was doing Dungeons and Dragons. And then I stuck with solo leveling until the end. I got my feelings about it, but I thought it was good. It was fun. Let's see what else. I started reading Tower of God.
Oh, nice.
Because of the anime. And I see Pat on the timeline talking about Tower of God. So I started reading Tower of God to really get into that, but I put that down once I picked up Bleach, because I need to get through Bleach. Like I set this goal. So those are probably the three. I have a list of recommendations somewhere. Like Panda's always on Anime After Dark, naming like 100 different webtoons that she listens to, that she talks about, and other people like join in and they name other webtoons. But I just don't have the time. Like, and also I I don't have the app. Like I only read webtoons on my computer, and I don't know if I just need to download the app, because a thing about manga right now is that if I'm reading like shonen, it's convenient because I have the Viz app, so I'm just reading like from Jump on my phone, and I can just do that. Like if I'm at a street light and it's a long ass light, if I'm caught by a freight train in between meetings at work, maybe in meetings at work, I can do that. And then stuff that's not on Viz, like if I'm doing like a Villain Saga, or I got a tab for Berserk and Kingdom, even though I'm not reading them right now, my Google Chrome browser just keeps the tabs for me at all times. So like I open up the browser and those just run. But I got like a limited bandwidth as far as like everything I can keep outside the app. I used to have the I forgot the name of the app, because iPhone just up and updated one day and got rid of the app I was using to store everything. And I was mad as hell. And then you can't download the app anymore. So that was my main reading app, and that's how I kept everything in one place. And without that, I'm limited, because yeah.
Was it like Manga Rock or something like that?
I was gonna say, I think it was like Manga Reader or something like that.
It
Or
was manga
Rock.
something. I forgot it.
Yeah, that was when they did the
Leak
genocide.
would know, because
Yeah.
Leak would know, because
genocide.
Leak was the one teasing me when I first lost the app, and then I think his phone updated like a little bit after that. He lost the app. He was on the same page as me. But
that's definitely sounding like both Manga Reader and Manga Rock.
Yeah, I think
they both died like one after another.
They did.
so I was hot, because that was my main way of keeping up with everything. When someone gave me like a manga recommendation in real time, I would just get on there, add it to the app, and even if I didn't get to it that day, like I'm constantly going like, okay, what's up next? Like, let me find something in the queue that I feel like reading right now. That's how I got in good with stories like Sweat and Soap and My Love Story,
nice.
and even like Sailor Moon and Pokemon. Me getting into those stories was all through that app. Me reading Mob Psycho was through that app. And so now I struggle like finding sites that I like and getting those sites to stay on my phone, because most sites, if you leave them up on your browser in the background, they start getting like pop-up ads, and then when you go there, it loses the chapter. So then I'm constantly trying to remember like what fucking chapter was I on, and then with all that trouble, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll go read something that's convenient.
Hey, Sam knows I'm constantly like every couple of months I'm like, all right, Sam, what's the browser friendly, what's the phone friendly website I need to be using to read?
Friendly, I don't know. To not lose a chapter, sure. To binge something, sure. If you have, just make an account, or just automatically bookmark where you left off and everything.
Yeah, it's hard to do all of it.
I leave them running like what GB said. I kind of like, I'm like, hey, I'm done. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm not gonna touch it, and I'm gonna come back.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I haven't read a manga on my computer in years.
It's all on my
it's
phone.
all either my phone, or if I have a tablet or iPad, that's like been the way to go about it, which doesn't help me. But the thing is, I have like reading spurts. So like if I decide to stop reading, if I find a website that has the dates, I'm good. Because more than likely I stopped reading everything around the same time. So if, like there's still things like I'm catching up on that I stopped reading last year in September. So I know for a fact that if I just go back to September of 2021, that's more or less around the area where I probably left off, maybe a little deeper for some that I may have chose to keep up with. But yeah,
I don't really even help me, because I don't even I keep up with some current stuff, but most of the stuff I'm reading, like I'm reading old stuff. I like going back and reading stuff from back in time. So if I stopped in July, the stuff I was reading that was current, like I know that's in July. But then if I'm reading Berserker Kingdom and I'm only on like chapter 30, I don't know that I was on chapter 30. I'm looking like, July is chapter 9,000 or however many chapters Kingdom got.
You're looking at July of 1997. That ain't helping.
Right.
It's not one to one. So like, I really want someone to come out with a legal manga app, and I'm willing to pay the money. Like I paid the $2 for Viz. Like if you want to give me the ability to merge everything into one app, and I gotta pay $10 a month for that, I'll do that, because I want the stories, and I want to have access to them. And even if it had a cap, like you can only download X amount of stories or read X amount of stories at one time. I don't even mind that. I need something that's convenient because right now, you know, you lose your bookmark and that's enough to discourage me. Like I'll just go read something else until I got to come back to this. I don't want to search.
I mean, some of the manga platforms don't even have an app to begin with, or their online library is through, like, they have it approved through a third party. And it's like, yeah, like Viz is never going to utilize that third party. So it's just, it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. Even like for like stuff here, like there was a period of time where I really wanted to get into comics, and it was just like, I wish there was like a place where I could. Then there was, then there wasn't, then there was Comicology, and then there's Link to Amazon. It was just stuff.
I used to use Read Comics, but then their whole site is just too addy. I found a new one called Comic Reader, and it's way better. It has less ads, and it's easier to read comics on there. So yeah,
DC was super ahead of their time. Even back in 2009, I think it was at the time, their website was like fully compatible, and it was rich with like BlackBerry phones. So you used to like open it up on your BlackBerry and full size the comic, and it will work perfectly on your phone. And it wasn't an app per se, but it was a mobile app. It wasn't like a phone app that as we know them today, but it definitely was a web app where like you would turn it on and it fits perfectly with your phone and your screen and everything you're doing. So like DC was so ahead of their time, and I thought like that would just naturally evolve to the point to where, okay, now we have the DC app where all the DC titles are there. Everything is there. I pay you $10 a month. I can read backstock. Maybe you curate series like, hey, if you're going to read the Hawk, you're going to read the Hawk in this order. Like this is the fan favorite, or this is Kenny's recommendation of how you should read the Hawk, how you should read Spider-Man. Like I don't know why US comics have not kind of got into that wave and found better ways to support and display the medium so that fans can enjoy it in new ways. Like the fact that we got to use websites or you got to have print, I think it just is outdated, it's old. And I don't think that these written media is moving to because I think the fear behind it is like if we digitize and we move everything over to then we're going to lose the revenue that we would get from print tangible subjects. There's not a lot of fucking revenue these days. Like the people that are still buying and supporting, it's not the same crowd that you were once getting. Like we're watching comic book stores die out. B, people having digital forms to read media does not stop them from buying tangible media. Most times you read that shit on your phone because it's convenient and you can take your phone everywhere. But you still go out and buy the box set of your favorite comics, of your favorite series, and everything you do. For me, I think the digital versions would encourage more sales because if not for like apps like Viz, I'll keep going back to Viz. If not for Viz, some of these series I probably wouldn't even have got to yet. And if I was in a place where I had my own studio, and like I wasn't sharing my bedroom with the studio, I probably would have brought box sets of series that I never would even discover without the Viz app, without the previous manga app that I can't remember the name to. I would have never even had these series without it. So definitely think we need to find better ways to kind of display and distribute our media.
Yeah, DC started. I think it's like I feel like it still comes back to paying the artist kind of thing, which is it sucks because like you said, like how good are sales of paper or physical copies going, and then you still have to pay to make the physical copies. So like, what is the revenue add that's being generated there? Not that I'm trying to kick people out of their jobs or anything, but I think it's tough. Like Webtoon has a couple DC specific series that are on Webtoon now. I think it's like up to like 4 or 5 different series that are DC originals on Webtoons. So I think I don't know. I want it. I do want the same thing. I want a centralized place for it for anime as well. I'm 5 different streaming platforms for anime is not the business.
And they're not even merging good. Now. Like give Funimation the keys. Like why is Crunchyroll having the keys?
That was my thing. That was my thing too.
I think Crunchyroll, I think from what I can look at, I think Crunchyroll branded themselves a little bit better than Funimation with like their like the main character girl that they have. Like they've done way more branding, I think, to where people are more familiar and I guess more gravitated towards their app with all of that. Whereas Funimation, like gets known for their voice actors, but they haven't really had like a character, any kind of branding thing that makes you want to like, stay. They're kind of like the last resort where, oh, they have this anime here, besides Crunchyroll. You know what I'm saying? So I see why, but
I disagree. I think both of them branded well in their own avenue. Like you said, Funimation dubs, voice actors, the UI, they for most Western fans were the gateway to this medium. That is Funimation's brand. I think what Crunchyroll's brand was is the catalog, the absolute depth and extensive catalog that you would have on Crunchyroll. I think fusing them, it would like I would rather the catalog of Crunchyroll and the licenses and everything else that comes from Crunchyroll. I would rather that come to me through the Funimation platform than I would want to see Funimation under Crunchyroll, because I feel like it's not like we're not getting the dubs simulcast any faster or anything like that. Like I feel like Funimation is not gonna be the same. I think the better deal would have had Crunchyroll coming out through Funimation rather than the other way around. Because now I feel like the things that Funimation did best are gonna suffer, and it feels more like a hostile takeover and less of a merger for benefit to the audience. In my opinion,
that's
Yeah.
it. It wasn't. They sold the audience a merger, but what it was a takeover.
it was a takeover. It was a
was
buyout.
was a complete buyout and a shutdown for supremacy over that market area, and then not even doing the best of jobs, as we can see them losing the rights over Bleach and different stuff like that. So I'm still here. Like, what was the point of you doing all of that? Because I'm sure if Funimation was still an independent agency, it was if it was gonna go to anyone, it was gonna go to Funimation. Because to this day, I still hear whoever that young lady or AI's voice, that's Funimation. You should be watching. It's in my head. It's ingrained in my head. You know what I mean?
I think because I'm saying more of like marketing, I think commercial use. I think Crunchyroll was so heavy on like, I guess, pumping out content, especially with like the influencers that they have hired on their staff, and how they're always like having these videos, whatever, interactive with their audience. Whereas Funimation, like, they kind of just like, this is what we are, and people loved it and they accepted it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I was trying to say. Whereas like Crunchyroll really commercialized themselves and really went to like the fans and interacted with them and their language. Whereas Funimation was like, y'all know us, we here, like we the big brother.
Funimation is like that cult movie that if you know, you know. And Crunchyroll is like the mainstream blockbuster premiere. I get that. I totally get that. If it's me and a strategic, I also think Crunchyroll did the right thing. Like, it was in their best interest to take over Funimation, because even though Crunchyroll is the I guess the word we used earlier was the more premium or the higher up app, Funimation was still in striking range. Like, all it takes is a couple strategic moves, and I think Crunchyroll eliminating probably was their number one competitor in the Western world is like smart on their part. I just thought it would have been used better. Like, if you're gonna acquire that and take that in, then fucking use that.
I think
to me, that's the same when Google was acquiring like Motorola and Nextel and everything else back in the day. And you think, okay, they're gonna be their own OEM. They're gonna make their own products and all this shit. And they didn't do nothing with all the divisions they acquired. They just acquired them for the sake of acquiring them. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
I think what also helped Crunchyroll's advantage was that outside of the U.S., there were like there were only some countries where they did have Crunchyroll but don't have Funimation, and you want to have the streaming service that's more diverse worldwide, so to say. And I guess and more often than not, more people are watching subs than dubs. And I know Funimation used to have the demographics of the anime movies. The only thing that they didn't have was the Studio Ghibli movies, but they have all the other rest of the movies in dub and everything like that. And unfortunately, I guess Sony would rather keep Crunchyroll more than they want to keep with Funimation, though. But Funimation is still there. You can watch continuing streaming animes. I think what they were planning to do is, I guess, if it's say Attack on Titan, you know how people watch it week to week and it gets flooded and people like barely be able to like watch it in the servers. I guess with Funimation, at least as long as it's there and people still have a Funimation account, and you don't have to go through the whole flooded gates of everybody watching at the same time on Crunchyroll or on Hulu or wherever, they have a spot in Crunchyroll where the server is not fully flooded and they could just watch it the minute of, or before even the 30 minutes up where everybody's trying to watch it at the same time though.
Yeah. I also think like the opportunity was there to also use Funimation in a way like, well, okay, you guys were known for like dubbing. Why wouldn't we just branch out? And because anime and mangas is spreading worldwide, so like, why don't we have you branch out and start to curate voice actors in different cultures and in different countries? Like, let's be known for dubbing around the world. Like, uh, it's a big operation. It probably takes a lot of coordination and resources and funding. But like getting to the point where I can drop a bleach per se, since bleach is the next one up next week. I can drop a bleach and have that simulcast dubbed in multiple languages at the same time, and people can enjoy it around the world at the same time. Like that's a fucking accomplishment. In their own language to hear like the voice actors that they know, that they're building with on social media, that they're seeing rise to the top. I think that's a different part of the culture. But also like I'm thinking from the standpoint of like a consumer and a fan, and sometimes with the business, it's all about the money. So like that's dope as hell for fans, but is that like are the margins there for them as a business to even do something like that, to consider something?
Do y'all think that has something to do with like some of the more heinous things that kind of slipped out about some of the voice acting work that was done in the studio about like the different voice actors and stuff? Do you guys think that had anything to play in part with it? Does that affect
Oh
their
hell yeah,
branding? Maybe, you know.
hell yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because we know like the voice actors are not paid like not like even if with JJK they made like over $300 million worldwide, the voice actors for the dub only like got like $300 in total doing
I
the
think
voice
Kenny
acting.
is talking about like the racist comments and stuff that the voice actors are
Oh,
doing behind
Or
the
like,
scenes.
Yeah, I
oh,
was
then
talking
like
about just the bad light that they
like
had those incidents
Yeah,
for.
like
and
oh,
Vic Vinceman, whatever his name is, like
Right,
yeah,
that
exactly.
stuff he being.
I I think that shit was all bad. And yes, that probably is a factor in it, but um, I think take accountability, do the right thing by the fans, and make moves to remove those people, and then bring in fresh blood, like bring in new people. We got a lot more voice actors in the states that are doing this and would love to be unionized, would love to be a part of these shows, would love to be on the squad, and bring more viewers to you. Um, I think if you had anime that like we see the Xenos and the Gabe Kundas and everyone that are like getting on more shows, but imagine if like all like we had space for all of our voice actors to get on there and be on different shows, like the amount of pull that would have more people coming to the app and checking out the dubs for their favorites instead of like these are the same 5 people that have been doing the dubs for the last 20 years. Or this is like some nameless person I never heard of that just got put on because they was working behind the scenes or had a cousin in the production booth. Like I think you can definitely like turn the image and spin it that way. But to your point, I agree. Like that bad pub couldn't have came at the worst time, and it definitely had something to do with probably like kind of trying to sweep it under the rug and out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I think it's hard, and it's not just like the voice actors. I think actors in general have been pushing for like unionization, and that's just important in general. Being able to have that backing, and you see for certain projects how big that can be because there's no backpedaling. Um, there's more access to voice actors. You have the ability to like you don't have to up and directly you probably would want to if you start getting some good back into your name, but like you don't have to up and move to LA just to pursue that, or you don't have to like sometimes you had to get into acting completely, and some people was like I don't want to be on camera, but I think my voice would be good for this or whatever the case may be, or they have the voice and it's acknowledged but maybe they don't have the right body type, because this is a reality in acting. Like you have to fit a look, whether it's a unique look or a standard look. There's a look that that exists, and it's either you are that look or you're not that look. And that's something I learned even earlier this year. At times it's like there's some people who casting wise they know what the look is that they're looking for, and that's all it really boils down to. Same thing for voice acting. They have a sound in mind that they're looking for, and it's you are it or maybe you're better than it. Sometimes you're better than it, but it's still not what they need, and you might get called back for something else completely different, but like it doesn't change the fact of like we are living in a slightly different time with stuff, and that accountability is important, I think, on all sides, and we just have to be, I think, more mindful as we continue to step forward. So I will say, is there, out of not the big stuff, guys, not the Chainsaw Mans and the Bleaches and the Mobs and the My Hero, is there something from this October, from this fall season, that you all are looking forward to that is not the baseline Shonen Jump series or
I'm not in
Shueisha?
tune at all. I have no clues dropping in the fall except for my Spy Family that I've been pushing since like chapter 18, chapter 15. And Mob Psycho are the only two, and I just learned about the Gundam from you guys, but I'm not in tune with anything that's dropping in the fall. I'm just I know I'm gonna tune in to Spy Family, but I gotta wait on the wife now because I accidentally got her into that shit. So now I'm stuck watching it with her.
Oh,
Not
no.
accidentally.
Condolences.
No, it doesn't, because like you accidentally like get your other into like shows and shit, and now it's like our show, but it's like, no, this is not our show. This is my show. You just watch with me. And especially when it comes to women, like I think it matters a lot more to women. Like for me, she can be watching reality TV and I could just pop out there and sit down and I just pick up wherever the fuck she's at. Like, oh, this nigga Kevin did not do that shit. I can't even believe. And it like, that's just how it go. Like I just pick up, and occasionally I got to ask questions like, wait, wasn't he with Shorty? And like, what happened? And I just go from there. But for her to miss episodes or miss anything and I'm doing it without her, it's just like, oh, this is betrayal, my friend. So I got into Spy Family, so we probably gonna watch that together. And Mob Psycho, I am excited for the Gundam. I've slowly been getting more into Gundam. I wouldn't say like I'm checking on all Gundam and watching, but I did a Gundam episode with some guys that got scrapped. I lost the episode. But that episode they put me on a lot of games. So I've been checking out things here and there. And slowly like, getting into more stuff. That's how I got into Iron Blood Orphans. It made me want to watch 86. Then I checked out the original Gundam. Then they had me doing some Super Sentais like what's the series on Netflix?
Is it a Gundam series or is it a different like mecha series?
I want to say Seiya Man, but it's not Seiya Man.
Ultraman.
Yeah. Ultraman. Like they've got me watching stuff like that. So I've been like slowly trying to make my way. The cool thing about Gundam that I never really appreciated when I was younger, and I should have, because it was kind of boring. I think I was looking not for all action, but I didn't care about politics when I was younger. And politics exists in Gundam. Like it's just a part of the framework. If it's no politics, it's not really Gundam, in my opinion. So that's been really cool about Gundam, as they had me watching these titles to like kind of be invested in the politics, the whole the morality of it, the grays and the neutrals and the in-betweens, like who's right, who's wrong. There are no winners and no good guys in war. We both just believe in what we believe in. That's just truth. So,
Word. Sam, what about you? Anything that's really jumping out? Any one thing that's really like ringing at you?
Golden Kamuy season 4, of course. They always push that agenda. It's always in the season where it's either AOT, My Hero, or whatever. But it's still a great anime, and I always push that agenda. I know Do It Yourself came out today. I didn't check that out yet, and interesting enough, a horror anime, Housing Complex C, that's by Adult Swim.
I saw that getting
about?
good attention. I'm not sure what it's about though, but it was getting some buzz the other day.
It's on HBO Max.
The projects?
Housing Complex C enters around Kimi, who lives in a small, low-cost housing complex located in the seaside town of Kurosaki, where trouble seems to follow her whenever she goes, and horrific incidents begin to occur. Is an ancient evil stalking the resistance of Complex House C. Basically Cthulhu.
Exactly what I thought it was going to be about. Okay, cool. I want to check that shit out.
Nice. What about you, Spicy?
I'm excited for the remake of Yurusei Yatsura that's coming out October 13th.
I forgot about that. I forgot that.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm excited about it. It reminds me of like the Run and halves, whatever. I didn't finish the old anime, but I'm excited to see this new rendition of it. It's gonna be done by their production, so I trust them with anime. Then there's Gonna Kamui, and there was another one that I saw. I think that's it. I think that one's really the one where I was most interested in. And of course, Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. I've been loving that. The new season of that. Oh, and Boichi the Rock. It's kind of like another like K-On, but like with more girls in the van. So
I saw that. I like the cover art for that. It really grabbed
Yeah.
my attention. I might have to check that out. Outside of what y'all said so far, of course, I will now insert the Blue Lock agenda. Blue Lock is and will be fire, and if it's not, you could come see me. I apologize. I take full responsibility, but I just don't see how you mess this up. It's really straightforward. It's good pacing as far as the writing is concerned. I see how easily translatable it is into episodes for animation. And I'm excited to see it along with, again, like you guys said, Golden Kamuy, Spy Family for sure. I literally just started rewatching the first part because I really love where I believe this second part of the core is going to go. I think what they're all going to capture is like literally some of my favorite stuff. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited.
Every time somebody says Blue Lock, I drink. I think of Blue Box on the Viz app.
The badminton.
Have y'all read that?
Mm-hmm. I started it. I did not.
I really like Blue Box. It's a cool love story. It has the competition of like sports anime and everything that's in it. It's got the love story triangle in it. It's got cool like slice of life moments. You get to see the culture and family, like how they view stuff over there, what's accepted, what's not accepted. I really enjoy. Oh, and the art is really good. It's like this. It's hyper detailed, but it's super peaceful. Like it's just everything has this peaceful, like graceful vibe. It's like lo-fi manga.
Lo-fi manga. That sounds cool.
Yeah, when you just kind of like reading the art and everything, it just has that vibe. And then every once in a while, just when you think like shit is chill, it turns the fuck up, and either it's like an emotionally charged moment between like the love and the triangle, because like these are kids that are dealing with like these emotions and these hormones for the first time and trying to hide that, but also trying to be successful in these sports that they're playing. And they're three totally different sports, and it's cool. It's fucking cool. I love Blue Box.
Yeah, I believe Eunice for Black Girls Anime had mentioned it to me a bit back, and I it was like when it was like just starting, and I was like, I checked it out, and I just like, how you check something out, but it wasn't one of the primary stuff, and it was just, I've never even thought about going back to it, but I like your pitch, GB. I like your pitch. I might have to pick it up because we love a good palate cleanse. I love something that's refreshing on the eyes, refreshing on the mind. To take in, especially when there's heavy seasons like this coming up for anime and stuff like that. So I might have to check that out. Is there any games you guys have been super like curious about, interested in, or even thinking of a game you would like to see come back from like your childhood?
I just saw on the timeline that Pokemon Puzzle League has come out on the Switch again. Nigga, yes, fill my veins. I need to go find that. We used to sit on the floor in my cousin room until like our butts were numb, just playing Pokemon Puzzle League and Perfect Dark like all through the night. That's what we would do. It's like in Mario Party. Like we was on crack or something, just up all night playing these games. But Puzzle League was it. And I remember like we put ourselves through like sleep deprivation, the mental strength to just be on like hour 7 of Pokemon Puzzle League. And I remember distinctly Lieutenant Surge was probably like the hardest level. It was so hard, bro. And we would just be doing it all night. So just nostalgic, good memories for that to come back. I would love to see Conker's Bad Fur Day kind of make a return. I think it was just such a the multiplayer. It was just such a not take yourself seriously type game. And I think Rare just really knocked it out the park. Like The story mode is cool because it's brash and it's crude, but just the multiplayer was just like it was just fun. I think so much of first person shooters and stuff these days is very serious, it's highly competitive, but this shit was just like it was just fun to play, like kind of beating each other to death for like these cartoon weapons. You got like the little blood spurts happening, and it's just like just be unserious in these moments. So like that'd be cool to come back instead of like just having Call of Duty and Apex and everything else. Um, and then I found two puzzle strategy games that I'm keeping secret, but I really want to stream them. That's why I'm keeping them secret. But I'm working on finding an assistant that will help me kind of like get my stream game together. And then I want to stream these two games. I think they fit great with my personality. One is a puzzle game that utilizes like the concepts of engineering, reverse engineering, and stuff like that.
Sounds
And
fun.
the other one is a strategy game. Um, it's a strategy game, but it's also a game of being a menace. Like it's a game of curiosity and strategy.
I like
So
chaos.
yes, they give you like it gives you like tasks and stuff to do, but part of the game is you just doing stuff for the hell of it to see how the environment interacts and like what you can get away with and what happens. And I think that would just be really fun. Like, hey, I think I want to do XYZ. Like, how y'all feel about that? And having chat vote on that. So these are two games like I'm excited to try and play. They're really like I haven't seen them on any radars or anything, and they sit on Steam and a free version of Steam. And I spent like 2 or 3 weeks just going through the whole catalog. Because Poodle was like, well, if you streamed, what would you do? And I thought to myself, like, I couldn't see myself being like an Apex streamer and stuff. I don't want to have to be hype on stream. I think people be on stream like, oh my God, did y'all see that? Like, that's not me. I'll be just like tuned in and kind of just chilling. I think that would be a hard stream for me to kind of pull off. That's not my personality, but I do think like puzzles and strategy, I can take breaks, talk to people, be like, how y'all feeling about this? Y'all think this plan finna work? I don't think it's finna work. And kind of go through that whole phase of things. So I'm excited for those two. Those are my main four right now. I guess three that I'm excited for, and one that I would love to see come back just on some unserious shit.
Yeah, Telltale series might be fun for you to play through when you
Yes.
try to
Yes.
figure out what you want to do
Yeah.
for streaming because it's interactive. You can literally get the community
It's called what?
feedback.
Telltale
Any of
games.
the Telltale game series,
What's that?
they basically have like it's basically like interactive walkthroughs, and you can actually send out a code, and you can have people like they can literally vote on what decision that you're gonna make in a game. So they have it for Batman and a couple other series where they just walk through the story with you, and it's just like different playthroughs and options based off of the community's vote.
There's a new game out that I've seen a lot of streamers stream where it's like a whole party game where it's that where it's like but it's like you and other players and like you all have to like vote like within that instance that it's happening. If not, it won't like the scene won't go the way you want it to.
Dang, what
I
was it?
forgot the name of it, but
What's
it's
the
like
name?
a
I
flash.
saw someone streaming it just
Releasing
this
them or
weekend.
playing. Yeah, I remember they were playing. Yeah, but I think that's another game. Fun. Also, I think it's called Best Month. It's a game I play on my channel where it's like about like this mom and her son. And they go on a journey together, and it's basically you showing you what kind of parent you are. Like how are you being an example to your son, and in the end, you kind of like see the result of what path your son chooses, and you kind of see like it's all based on your decisions and how you boosted his morale or how like you were did whatever. So I had fun playing that game too. But yeah, I like chill games like that.
There's a balance to be found that I've learned as well from like Apex is like, especially if you're trying to get in and find where you're comfortable, like you don't want to stream the thing that
everyone
a million users are streaming.
Yeah. No, literally.
So I think you sound like you have the perfect niche, and I can see myself enjoying just the way you speak and the way you interact in general. Even just in this conversation that we've been having with puzzle games, that sounds perfect, and I would definitely be there to just like I could have that on in the background and pay attention to you, or I could sit and actively participate. That sounds like fun.
I would say GB sign up for a key mailer once you do decide to like stream. Basically, like you sign as a creator and you get free codes. You can request codes from different like indie companies, and they can like send you codes and stuff like that to play on stream if like you like exhaust Steam.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, yeah.
So like for the paid titles.
Well, not that too, but sometimes it's like indie developers on there that are just a free game, but they'll give you the code to play if it's like not on Steam yet. Yeah.
Bet. I'm like beta testing that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I think most of the Telltale games are already free. Actually, there's a lot of the Telltale games already free about it. So.
Yeah.
When are we gonna Wolf Manga's final game? Like were we supposed to get that game right? And then they like just totally didn't say anything.
It got axed.
They got
axed
and
they never talked about it again. It just got axed and they never talked about it again.
Because they hyped it up for like, I was like, yes, like they're like new developers, and then I just never heard from it again. But they axed it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's sad.
That's how I felt about that Hogwarts game that was supposedly coming out. We're getting the Hogwarts game that we're getting now, and I keep telling people like that's not the game that we were promised.
It's not.
I don't think y'all remember the advertisement, but that is not the game that we were promised.
That is like the Pokemon photos game, like whatever the equivalent that is.
Yeah.
But I guess some games I'm excited for, obviously Gotham Knight. Like I can't wait. I'm playing that game day one. Comes out next like 2 weeks from now. I'm trying to see Gotham Knight. I think that's it right now because Midnight Sun's disappointing me when I found out what kind of game it was after all of that hype. But then if I could bring one game back, I would love to bring back Power Stone. I used to love playing that game on PlayStation. And I would love to see it on, if it comes on Switch, I will get a Switch. But if it doesn't, then, I would love to see that game come back.
Nice. What about you, Sam?
Honestly, there wasn't too many games I was so long interested. Like when they established the second Cyberpunk game, and I'm like, all right, you're gonna have to release. You have to have everything fixed on the day of you and release, and not push it over a year.
And Witcher. Witcher games.
You guys gotta stop making Keanu Reeves looking bad. You just gotta stop.
Nice. Yeah. For me, I'm always gonna be hyped for Pokemon games. How hype I am once it's out and I'm playing it, a whole nother story, but we'll see. But my intent is I do want to stream my playthrough of a Pokemon game. And I haven't decided my format because I am definitely a sit there for a whole day and grind and raise my Pokemon. Like I'm very much so like, so me and my cousin kind of have this thing, him a lot more than me, but where I have a story for like my character. Like when I say I have a character, like there's something connecting them, whether it's to a previous character from another playthrough that I did, or I'm making a brand new character. So like I'm genuinely thinking like, yo, no, I'm really gonna spend some time here. Like if I'm in this Pokemon world, I'm gonna be out there training and battling. Like I really do gotta level up and grind and stuff. So I'm definitely looking to do that. I still haven't played Legends of Arceus, so I might run that back as well as a stream potentially. So we'll see how that goes as well. But as far as upcoming things, I'm high-key interested in the new Assassin's Creed. That's not dropping right this second, but I'm very interested in that. And if you want to see me stream anything in the near future, that's like I'm gonna probably be like going crazy about outside of Pokemon. Is probably gonna be an Assassin's Creed game. As far as like anything in the past that I would want to bring back, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I love asking people that question, but like I wasn't privy to have a lot of games. Like even Pokemon Puzzle League, I literally only played it once. I literally like
missed out on the gym, bro.
I did not have an N64, so it was like those type of things are only accessible if I visited someone who did have family or otherwise. And if you know me growing up, I didn't, there's not too many people that I could spend the day or spend the night by growing up. So it's fun to hear about that stuff. So like I've heard a lot of good things about Pokemon Puzzle League, and I do very specifically remember watching my cousin struggle through Lieutenant Surge. It was very funny to see
Surge, that
have that experience. Roll, it was so funny because I remember it. I remember the gripe and turning the game off for the night.
Because it's such a gap. It's such a gap in the difficulty from whoever was before Lieutenant Surge to Lieutenant Surge, and it's like, bro, when did this shit get so good? Can we go back to how it was last time? And even like Surge starts off slow. That's the thing about like his, I guess his difficulty meter or the algorithm or however you want to call how he was coded, he starts off slow. And so it's like, I got this. I got this. And then all of a sudden it's just like combo, 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 combo. And man, I remember I used to be hot at Lieutenant Surge. It took us so long to get by. And then the thing, and I think this is what makes a good game. When a game is difficult, but not impossible. And a lot of games, it's about, or it's a lot of games is when you finally get past a certain point, that part barely gives you trouble after that. Like it clicks and you beat that boss or you solve that puzzle or whatever happens. And then you can do that shit in your sleep somehow after that. Like I've leveled up. Lieutenant Surge never had that. Like no matter how many times I beat him, it was always a toss up if I was gonna beat him the next time. You just never knew. Because he can go into combos. And that made it a really fun game for me because it was unpredictable. It never got boring. Like I can get on here and just win nonstop. It was always like, bro, today might be my day where I take that L. I appreciated that. You brought up Assassin's Creed earlier. I used to love Assassin's Creed, but it reminded me another game, two games I was super excited for, but I didn't even pick up. One was Halo. I was
did not pick it up.
game on. When Halo 2 was out, I was in school and literally we used to do LAN parties. Everybody would just bring their Xbox over and we would connect everyone's Xbox and just play Halo nonstop. And then finally the school put internet in our dorm rooms, like true internet. And then we started like getting online and playing each other. And Halo 2 was like a revolution. We would be on there all day, like leave a class, come back, pay for 30 minutes, go back to class. If you went to class, you forget about class and be in front of this game all day. Like, so I was excited for Halo to come back. I wanted to get into it. Me and Cuzzo Frankie, we're gonna do it together, and we have not played yet. I got the beta, and the shit is just sitting on my computer. I haven't even turned it on. And then the other game was Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I loved that game when I was younger too. It was my like everyone. I like Splinter Cell, but I think the team aspect of Rainbow Six and like setting your team up to win. So like needing a sniper, needing like having to plan out everyone's loadout and figure out like how the team should best work to move through these different objectives. That was really, really fun for me in high school and like late grammar school. So I was excited when I saw that it was going to be another Rainbow Six. And then it fell off my radar and I just never even picked it up.
Yeah, that you speaking of that Halo for sure. You said that and I forgot. I was like, oh, that there was a Halo. I completely forgot that. And the new Sniper Elite drop. I was waiting forever for that, and I didn't even buy the game. Like I don't have the I think it's on Xbox Game Pass. I can't tell y'all the last time I turned on my Xbox. People come in the house as guests and turn on my Xbox more readily than I turn on my Xbox at this point. So yeah. Whew. Yeah. Halo at school. Good times, man. Good times. Whew. Yeah, for sure. Man, that's also Modern Warfare 2. It was Halo and Modern Warfare 2 in early college days. Crazy.
Go raid the cafeteria, come back with pizza, chicken, subs, and gallons of fucking juice and just sit down and be on Halo all day.
Oh, they messed up when we had the late night kitchen that they started doing for us. And we had like kitchen from like 12 a.m. to like 1:30.
Yeah.
Boy, and we used to go get them wings and come.
They used to do hot subs at our late night kitchen and nachos when we would go down there and get that. Literally the only time for a while, it would just be Halo all day. And then we would all go to the rec and like swim, work out. Some dudes is hoopers. They'd be on the court for like 4 or 5 hours. All of us would work out together. I'd go get in the pool, steam room, stuff like that. And then we go right back to Halo and be on Halo and forget about class for like a week or two.
So I'm gonna bring us in home. This is gonna be the last question. I'm gonna start with Sam, then do Spicy, then I'm gonna finish with you, GB. The question here is, if you right now could for $1 million, a sport of your choice, including esports, and you had to challenge anybody on this channel right now, what is that sport? What are you challenging them to? Sam.
Esports.
It don't have to be esports, but any sport, whatever is sport. It could be fencing, it could be League of Legends. I whatever you think, who you challenging, and what is the sport?
I get $1 million if I win.
Yeah, you get $1 million if you win.
You would think I play a lot of like PC games and stuff, but I really don't. But I do like my strategy games, and I do like a little bit of the competition. Give me a little bit of practice, but let me face Kenny. I want to see like how would I don't need to win this one. This is gonna be more about how well. I just need practice, and I just want to train myself and see how much competitive and how is this fun. And even losing is considered learning. So
losing not an option here. You need that million.
You need that million. He forfeiting $1 million to me. That's okay. I'll slide you 50%.
Trying to make it all wholesome. Like, it's $1 million.
Oh man. All right, I'll take that. What about you, Spicy?
Basketball.
Who you challenging?
Anyone who's good at basketball in here. Anyone, if you think
Who you challenging?
Who play basketball? I don't know. Y'all play basketball here? Anyone?
Perhaps.
I don't even hoop, but I'm an athlete. I'm a competitor, so you finna have to earn that win. But I do not hoop at all.
Whoever has that challenge, but Kenny, you tall, you kind of tall. I don't know. I think GB tall too. I think
put the million on the line. I'm fighting it. I got the height.
I played. No, look, guys. Growing up,
we're doing streets.
But I played street ball growing up. Like I've been playing basketball since I could like walk. Like it's just part of my blood, and I turned a different person. Like.
Not spicy about to back in and step on your big toe while you spin to the basket.
I do that. No, I play center. I played center for like most of my basketball career. Like so, like I was like very much blocking all the shots and doing most of the dirty work.
Sounds like I need to square up with some basketball in real life with Spicy. Now I'll put $1 on it though. I ain't got $1 million.
$1.
I'll buy you lunch or something.
That's cool. What
you got, GB? Who you challenging?
I want to hear from you, bro.
Oh, yes.
Don't be trying to dodge your question.
I'm crying.
My bad. Honestly, I want to challenge GB to bowling. I don't know if you remember, I already asked for that request, but I would like to challenge you in bowling.
That's crazy. I don't know where you think like I got bowling skills at. Like I bowl for fun. I do better when I bowl against good people, but I'm still not good. Like if you getting strikes, I get more strikes just because I don't like to lose and I would try my best, but I have no bowling skills. I think that the highest game I ever bowled was probably like in the 150s or the 170s. And that was like, bro must have bowled like a 290 something. Like he was close to 300 on my ass. And I was just desperately trying to make it look a little bit more respectable than what it was.
Look, you look competitive, and
I'm very competitive.
Bowl, and I feel like it would be fun.
I'm very competitive. I hate to lose at anything. So like, it makes me do better, but I do not have the bowling prowess. And then the thing is that I'm not good at bowling. So like, if you're a bad bowler, it doesn't make me better because there's no competition. Like the competition's not the same.
Yeah.
So then like if you're a bad bowler, you got a better chance of beating me than like a medium bowler. Because a medium bowler, I'm gonna bowl better, but a bad bowler, I'm probably just gonna do like my regular, and then you might win like 110 to my 101 or 98 or something. I'm sitting there like, how, bro? I know I can do better than this. So like, bowling's a funny one for me. But you gotta earn that $1 million.
Hey, I earn it. I said the only other sport I would pick, is probably picked it up in college is table tennis. Like I will challenge people to ping pong. Not even saying like I'm probably more confident in my bowling skills because I bowled through like middle and high school. So like I'm a little bit more confident in my bowling skills. But yeah.
I went to a job interview in LA and they had a table tennis table in like the rec room for the, they tour you around the place and it's like, oh yeah, check out all these amenities we got. So you can stay here 15 hours a day. Like you can take naps on the clock in our nap pod. So they had like a table tennis thing. And I was like, oh, I really don't play. So I was like, oh, let me try. So I get on there and like get a serve off. I'm feeling good about myself. The girl that I'm playing proceeds to fucking crush me, bro. She's smashing the ball back like shit's whizzing past my face. I'm hearing the wind on these hollow little plastic balls. Like she's killing me, bro. She's like
she hitting you
turning,
with that top
she's
tier, that high
turning, like
Q.
flipping the racket and getting like different grips and sending it. It's like playing Forrest Gump. She's sending it back at me full speed, and it's like, yo, you're ending me. And whole time, not only do I feel bad because I'm losing, but the recruiter's there. So I'm like, is the recruiter looking at me like, can't have him at the company? He's not a winner.
He's not built. He's built wrong.
He's built wrong. You don't have the juice.
I'm
He's never gonna fit in with
crying.
the culture. And she's like owning me, bro. And so here I am in like my suit, my shirt and tie. And I tried everything. I even took off the jacket to try to make it look like, I had bravado. It was all practice. Like, I was playing with you at first, but now you finna get my final four. Nah, bro, she was owning me.
That's funny.
Definitely, there was a spree of like being good at table tennis for a while, and it is definitely a thing. You will change grips, switch hands, scooping things off the side. Like it gets intense, right?
It's like life was moving in slow motion, but in hyperspeed at the same time. Like I'm seeing her, like her hips are opening up and turning. It's like she was a professional. I've never seen anyone play table tennis at that level except for like that Forrest Gump shit. And what was that movie? What was the comedy movie? Was it Balls of Fire?
Balls
of Fire.
Yeah, that's how she was.
Yeah, no.
Was
when
she
I
a worker there, or was she also doing the interview?
Was in college, bro. Like I'm telling you, like we legit behind the back hits for saves. Really
Bro,
was.
we
was really
nuts.
out there with it, bro.
I wouldn't even. And one of them, like I returned one that she hit, but it went super wide. So I thought that was gonna be a score for me. And she fucking closed the distance, bro. Got it back, hit the table, one bounced it, and I whiffed.
Yeah, no, it get dirty, especially when you really get control and there's different paddles with different grips and stuff. Like we got to a point like we would go and practice. Like I would aim for shots that just barely hit the edge of the table. You literally
I also didn't get the job.
Aww.
And part of me wondered, like,
is it her fault?
Part of me wondered was like,
was that part of the interview? She was.
I knew I wasn't the strongest candidate walking in. Part of my skill set really applied to the job, but there were a lot of technical things that I just didn't have experience in. So by no means did I think I was the strongest candidate. I was more in there to kind of like finesse and try to lie my way into the position. Like, oh yeah, I got experience with that when I don't. But also part of me was like, she demoralized me in front of the whole squad.
Dang.
They probably was looking like,
She took you from your A game to your A- game.
Yeah, because it was like a it's a building, so it's like they probably played the marketing firm upstairs, and like we can't take him upstairs to face them.
Oh man, that reminded me of that badminton anime that was out earlier. Man, I can't think of the name of it, but anyways, GB, who you challenging? What you challenging them in?
An actual real sport. I would probably go with beer pong. And I would pick Spicy because she doesn't have a lot of height. So it would make it harder for her to hit some of the cups.
I got aim though. You'd be surprised. I got aim, but that'll be cool.
Yeah, I would go with beer pong. And if I had to pick like an unserious sport, I would choose timing your wake up and like get out the bed, get in the shower, get to work schedule to just the right second. So you walk in right when you need to at the gig. I think that's an Olympic level sport that I think most adults be juggling in the morning. Like, man, all right, if I make eggs instead of bacon, I could probably like shave 2 or 3 minutes off my morning. And if I like, low key, I took a shower last night, I might consider just going in here and doing it. Like, I've had some thoughts, like especially days where I know I'm gonna be in the field anyway, like in the hot ass sun, sweating. I'd be like, bro, you showered last night. Like, you can just go out there. It don't make no sense. You finna waste that shower. You be in the sun sweating all day. Just take that 20 minutes of time off your morning. Sleep in, king.
Yo, that order all right, if I start with breakfast, I threw it in the air fryer. It's gonna take 15 minutes. I could put the kettle on. That'll give me time to brush my teeth. Come back downstairs.
Come back, get the kettle, get the air fryer, take that out. And that time I turn on the iron. By the time I finish eating, the iron is nice and hot. I can get my clothes done.
That's gonna put me at about 25 minutes, and then
Bro,
I can just grab the sandwich. I can just grab the sandwich and walk out. I'll eat that. I'll be done with it by the time I get there. Yeah, it definitely happens.
I'll be playing the tables every morning, and it doesn't make it any better that the airport is only like 5 or 6 minutes away from me. 4 minutes if I catch every light. So like, you
really got this down to a microscience.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes before I got to be at work, and I'm still like, yeah, you got a good 5, bro. Like you might get lucky today and catch every light. You could time that.
Hey, I love that. Hey, yo, appreciate y'all. This was pulling up on that marker. So I want to say first of all, thanks for everybody that swung by. If you're lurking, appreciate you as well. GB, thanks for letting us have some of your time. We know you are busy, and of course, we take any recommendations from you, any tips. We definitely gain a lot from having you on for conversation tonight. I think this unscripted conversation went very well. I really enjoyed some of the things. I even stopped taking notes at one point. I was just completely immersed in the conversation. So that's how I know I was having a good conversation. So thank you for that. Thank you, Spicy, for being here. Also shout out to our other co-hosts, those who got a couple of people not feeling too well. Really hope everybody feels well. Shout out to Ray and the family. Shout out to Abe. Shout out to everybody. But yeah, so I guess I'll pop up first. You can follow me, Kendall Grant VA, on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all that good stuff. Obviously links are down below, links are in the chat as well, so how you can get in contact with us. So do that.
Spicy.
Yeah, check me out on YouTube, y'all. I have a new YouTube video up recapping everything Netflix's To Doom events. So a lot of new anime on Spicy Lady Talks. Check me out on Twitch at Spicy Lady Gaming. I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 p.m., sometimes 7 p.m. Also check out my Twitter, Spicy Lady ENT, and Instagram, Spicy Lady Entertainment. And if you go to my Twitter account, everything's in my LinkTr.ee link, all that fun stuff.
GB.
Well, shout out to Anime Lately. Appreciate y'all for having me on, for doing this talk. Shout out to Vast, your friendly ghost, who did not show up to this episode, even though he's the one who recruited me. All my links are in the chat right now.
They are.
Follow us at Worst Gen Pod on Twitter. Check out Anime After Dark every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. CST. Check out the Collective Cafe every Sunday at 4 p.m. CST. And stay tuned for more to follow. If you guys really care about listening to me or hearing my opinions, you can follow me at Genius. That's Gene_IUS on Twitter. And that's about it. That's all I really. Especially shout out to Hub Taku, the official partner of Worst Generation Productions.
Yep.
Tammy and Vonnie have been very helpful. They've been just great people to know and everything. I'm proud to have the opportunity to partner with them and just be able to create with people that they're passionate, they care about what creators are doing and what's going on. So definitely come be in the clouds with us.
All the links are in the live chat, guys, and they'll also be down there in the description, and they'll also be in the end comment of last comment of the video. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for lurking, for all those that are still here. If you enjoyed the video, press that like button if you haven't already, as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not. We appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you, GB, again for the visit. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys. Peace.